course, Maz are about to take over on Woodward Sports. Every day, 2 to 4 p.m., it's the best Detroit sports talk on Detroit's best sports network, Woodward Sports.
Hey, let's go. Wednesday show, October 16, 2024. Ermanni and Edwards with Maz, Woodward Sports Network, woodwardsports.com. If you're watching on YouTube, go ahead and hit that like button. Subscribe to Woodward Sports on YouTube. Gang's all here on a busy news day. Yeah. Braylon Edwards, good afternoon to you, my friend.
Good afternoon to you, man. Excited to be here. The gang's all here, all 5 of us, man. Hope everything's going well at home. Seems
absolutely
like doing better. And,
my little guy.
At 100%. I'm excited. Tomorrow's a big day. We can talk about that later. But right now, it's a lot to talk about in sports, so I won't waste time.
Tom Mazaway, good afternoon to you, my friend.
Hey, brother and brothers. Beautiful day out, man. This
brother.
is I like when I'm driving home. You know, it's like 5, 6 o'clock. You see those clouds, those fall clouds in the sky.
Nothing better.
It's gorgeous. Yeah. This is a beautiful place to live. It really is.
Man, I'm not BSing you, man. I'm telling you, when I retired from football, it was 2014, and I knew. I knew it was over. I knew that I was training. Everybody thought I was still trying to play, but I knew it was over. And I'm still living in Miami, and it's beautiful. And obviously, the women are beautiful. The beaches are beautiful. It's a beautiful scene, but it's nothing like watching these leaves turn, man. I came home, and I said I got to move back. It's time to get out of Miami. It's time to come home now. You can have some fun in Miami, but watching the leaves turn, this is my favorite time of year. The cider mill, the apple orchard. You watch that orange, just red, turn and the leaves fall, and they drop. This is that time of year. I love wearing full-length coats. Fall. Fall is a fashionable season, and I'm happy to do it here in Michigan.
I'll tell you, man, there's nothing like October. Nothing like October in Michigan.
Every October, I'll take a Friday off, and it just happens to be this Friday, where I don't do anything.
Me too.
And we do a family day at the apple orchard.
Which one?
We go to Blake's.
Okay.
And we spend the day at Blake's, take the kids out of school, and we do, because there's a lot less people there during the week. Take the kids out of school, no school, have a family day. And it's all about the fall and all about October. It's the greatest day of the year for me.
Do you go to Tilson Street?
No.
That's the Halloween
That's the Halloween street.
You got to take the kids there.
I know. I should actually.
You have to.
Yeah. Remind me of the city. I know the street.
I wish I could. Romeo?
Is it Romeo?
Yeah.
I think it is Romeo. Yeah.
It's outstanding. It's better at night, but it's beautiful during the day too.
You're right. I should do that on Saturday too.
Add it in. Just add it into your Friday.
Or on Friday. Actually, I'm going to do that. Great call, Maz.
Oh, wow.
Jump all over that.
Got me one.
Kathy will be there with the kids, with her school kids.
Yeah, that's a great point. I'm going to do that on Friday as well. We'll roll by there.
2 beautiful treks, just while we're talking about this weather thing before we finish, in terms of the trees and changing. 2 beautiful treks, Ryan. One I know you know. That drive up M10 or M14 to Ann Arbor. That's a beautiful track, especially once you get kind of past Ford Road and Godfredson and on the way to 23. And another one's actually right around the corner. It's Cranbrook. Cranbrook's aesthetics on the outside, man, the landscaping is phenomenal, but this is definitely that time of year where you can have some excitement driving home around 4 or 5 o'clock.
But it's football and baseball right now, man. Lock it in.
That's right. KG, you good?
Oh, yeah.
Pete Spivak, you good?
Yes, sir.
All right, let's go, guys. Today, Dan Campbell, moments ago, if you're watching live, this happened about 2 hours ago. Dan Campbell talked about Aiden Hutchinson. They did officially place him and Pecco on IR. So 2 Lions go on IR. Kyle Pecco, Aiden Hutchinson. And the team did sign Isaiah Thomas. No, not the former Piston, a different Isaiah
Good
Thomas.
Name, though.
Off of the Cincinnati Bengals practice squad. He is now on the active roster at the defensive end. The team re-signed Aleem McNeil, 4 years, $97 million, $55 million guaranteed, 4th highest paid defensive lineman of the year. We'll get to the extensions as well. The Lions are doing this. They are signing guys that they drafted. That initial draft class from Amon-Ra St. Brown, Penei Sewell, and Aleem McNeil. And by the way, Derek Barnes is probably next. All guys on that first team. We're going to do all of that. I just wanted to update you on the news there. But here's Dan Campbell talking about number 97, Aiden Hutchinson.
I talked to him yesterday, and he's doing good. Now, he's trying to process everything. It's still pretty new. And so just exactly what is this? Where do I go? Which you would expect. I mean, he's laying in the hospital room with his leg up. But but he's back, and I know that, he didn't want to be a stranger. I know he talked about being back a little bit, when it made sense. So, and he knows he's welcome here anytime. We would love to see him. The whole team would love to see him. He's a huge part of what we are, and we hate it for him. But yeah, so we'll see.
All right, so that's Dan Campbell talking about Aiden Hutchinson. Braylon, there's the, and we talked about this the other day, there's the human piece to this and the football piece to this. We hate it for Aiden Hutchinson. We hate it for him personally. We hate it for the Detroit Lions on the field. But this season will not stop. They are going to have a game against the 5-0 Minnesota Vikings this week. You cannot give up on the season because 97 is down. That's just not how this thing works. So they are going to have to find a replacement. I'm not sure Isaiah Thomas is that guy. We'll hear from Dan Campbell in a minute on Isaiah Thomas. But your overriding feeling about what Dan Campbell said about Aiden Hutchinson and moving forward.
The show must go on. This reminds me of when I was in college or even in the NFL, Maz and Ryan, like Lloyd Carr. Like this first time it happened, I saw it. I actually didn't even go to Michigan yet. Guy got injured. Big-time guy on the team got injured in Michigan. Marquise Walker. All Lloyd Carr did was move the drill up 10 yards. Practice went on. They took care of him. This show always goes on in sports, man. You hate that an injury happens like that. Dan Campbell talked about that feeling in his gut of how bad that it hurt, especially a guy like Aiden who's homegrown. He's from Plymouth, Michigan. He goes to University of Michigan. He plays for the Detroit Lions. So in a sense, he really feels like a member of your family if you're a Detroit Lions fan or a Michigan guy or just from this state. But with that said, they got to find a guy to help in ways that Aiden Hutchinson allowed them to be great on defense. You see Aleem McNeil, you see DJ Reader, the success that they were allowed to have early in the season. It's predicated off having the big 97 on the outside. So we don't know where they're going to go to get that move. But in terms of the human element, it's good to have Aiden in the building. When your guys get hurt, like I've been on teams where guys are major injured. I actually was majorly injured. I had injured my ACL in 2005. And when you're away from the team just wants you to be okay. They want you to be there. And the team really can't go on and continue until you have your guy back. So when they get Hutchinson back in the building, on his crutches or on his wheelchair or whatever he's in, they can see him, they can feel that energy, and they can move on with the season because even though 97's hurt, this is still the year to win the Super Bowl, so show will go on.
And you heard Dan Campbell. Hutch really don't even know what the hell happened to him. It's just wrapping his head around, why is my leg up in a sling in a hospital bed? Why do I have to have all these rods and screws in my leg? The guy just suffered a huge, major injury.
Major.
You heard Dr. Pierce. It could take a regular guy up to a year to have this come back. But a guy like Aiden Hutchinson, with his work ethic and his athletic ability, 4 to 6 months. And I truly believe it'll be on the shorter end of that. And he'll be stronger than ever next season for sure. We're not going to rush him back. There's no way you could rush a guy like that back. But they're going to win it for him. I believe that this will be a rallying cry for a team that's already one of the top 3 teams in the league.
Yeah, 100%. Just from Aiden's standpoint, I'll give you 2 standpoints. One, the team, and one, Aiden. Like, Aiden's a competition guy, competition with himself. He wants the best for himself. He expects the best out of himself. But he's got an injury like this. He's got a setback. One thing, he's going to say, Ryan? I've been here before. Mm-hmm. Happened in 2020, the University of Michigan. I've been here before and came out on the other side in an amazing way, the number 2 pick overall after getting hurt. So he's been here before, so he has that adversity to pull from. And then also, he's chomping at the bit to get back. He wants to do something that nobody else has done before. That's the type of makeup that the Hutchinson family in general has. So he'll be fine in that regard. And for the team, you hit the nail on the head, man. It's like, this is a motivator. This is a motivator. We're doing this for Aiden. Like, it sucks when these things happen, especially your team, especially your guys. But when it happens for a team and you can rally around something, it's a rallying cry. Remember Michigan in 97, Eric Mays, the captain, gets hurt. First play of the game. First play of the game of the season. 100%. They rallied for E. Mays the whole entirety of that year. And at the end, they beat Ohio State, and they raised him up and hoist him up. But it's a rallying cry on a good team. And Aiden is the glue, well, not glue, but it's one of the main pillars of this team. So you know they're going to ride in full.
Look at Michigan, how they rallied for Zach Zinner just last season, winning it all.
About that. Same injury,
him.
Almost.
Same exact injury.
Yeah. Same thing. But here's, as a sports fan.
That happened, by the way, just want to point out, that happened in November in the Ohio State game.
We're a month ahead.
He was in camp in April, so that's 6 months.
Right. We're ahead. We're ahead on that. We got a month on
Yeah.
that injury. But as a sports fan, and I've told you this before, when I watched that, first of all, when I watched the Tigers lose on Saturday, it sucked the life out of me. And then to have the Lions pick me back up, I'm running around like a rooster. Oh, yeah, revenge, blah, blah, blah. And then it happens to Hutch, and it sucked the life out of me again. And I hardly watched the second half, as I told you. I had it on as background noise. I talked to a lot of friends of mine, and they feel the same way. They feel like something's been taken from them. I mean, this is our one time here. And I know last year was a great run all the way. Should have been in the Super Bowl. But this year, for sure, we're going to the Super Bowl. And to have this happen to one of your top two guys, you got Jared Goff and you got Hutch, and you lost one of them. That's a huge blow, especially to the people that are watching the games. And really, all we give a damn about is to brag about our team, that they're going to be the best. I just hope they can continue on. I do.
Totally agree with you on that, Maz. But that is something that we as fans can kind of hang on to for a little bit.
Yep.
But the team has got to move fast and past. And they've got to move past it very fast, because this is a Super Bowl championship caliber type team. And there's two guys out there that everybody's talking about. The first guy, Max Crosby. Mark Davis was interviewed today and says, we are not trading Max Crosby. Just want to put that out there. And I was
he
thinking,
getting a bad haircut at the time?
No, he was sitting down because they were talking about Tom Brady and the ownership and the things like that, because Brady owns the team. That's another story for maybe later today. But why wouldn't you trade Max Crosby? I mean, I understand why you wouldn't. You're not going to trade Max Crosby because why would you buy a ticket to go see Raider football? There's one guy you buy a ticket for.
Yeah.
There's one guy that embodies the commitment to excellence. You cannot get rid of that guy.
They don't care, Ryan. You know why? Last week, it was 75% Steeler fans.
Yeah.
Vegas ain't a destination for a home team.
Yeah.
It's a destination for visiting teams to come in. The Raiders don't have fans anymore.
Well,
they left them in the black hole in Oakland.
Maybe that's something you consider, but it did not sound at all. And look, I'm a big believer in make me an offer I can't refuse.
Yeah.
But it does not sound like Max Crosby is getting traded at all.
Yeah, if I'm Mark Davis, I wouldn't trade him. You're not doing business right with the Las Vegas Raiders franchise, but at the same time, look, you know the guy. Everybody around the country is talking about your guy. Even a guy that's not getting it right in the head office, something has to click. We're like, all right, well, everybody knows about this guy. Everybody seems to want this guy. We can't trade this guy. The 75% of the people that are coming to see the opposition, they're going to buy tickets, and the 25% of the people that just happen to be in Vegas or may want to catch a Raiders game, they do have to have at least one guy to go see, and that one guy is Max Crosby for that Las Vegas Raiders. It's an accidental smart move, to be honest, by Mark Davis.
What did we say about the Baltimore Orioles at the trade deadline?
Trade those young kids.
And did they?
They did not.
Did they win?
They're home. It's really the bottom line. Now,
Yeah.
I think if you're trying to rebuild a team and you're trying to find a quarterback,
You trade him.
maybe you can even trade him Hendon Hooker, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Right.
Hendon Hooker in a
Whatever.
second, or Hendon Hooker in a
Whatever.
first. I mean, whatever the case may be, it would be nice to get Max Crosby. So that guy aside, Jeremy Fowler, today, ESPN, says the Detroit Lions have contacted Hassan Reddick's agent, Drew Rosenhaus, just to inquire about the possibility of getting that pass rusher away from a Jets team that he has not suited up for, not even one time.
Yeah, 100%. And this is a move you got. This is a move in which I think the Lions maybe have to make. And the reason why I think it actually might end up playing out to be a good move is he's a disgruntled guy, man. This is what you're talking about. The whole situation with the Jets, and he's not there, and he never came in. The deal when left Philly, whoever signs for me, there has to be a deal on the table. The Jets, being the New York Jets, put no deal on the table, and they thought he would just jump at the chance to play with Aaron Rodgers and maybe have a chance to win that division. He chose to tell you that I stood on business. So with that being said, that's what you know you're going to. I don't think he's going to hit you over the head, to be honest. Like, I don't think he's going to break the bank. You have a first-round pick that you have available.
You won't even need to give it.
100%.
They got him for a third.
And you see what exactly.
you
So
go.
now that means you're giving up a fourth. And now you only have to pay, what, is it 2.2 this year?
Well, he's already $4 million in the hole just from fines and missing his salary. The thing is, he's been on 3 teams. He's been on 3 teams already in the last year and a half, right? San Francisco, Philadelphia, and the Jets, who he hasn't played for. So there's something not right, is what I'm saying. Does he have talent? Yeah. Does he have more talent than James Houston? Yeah, he does.
I think the Eagles have just drafted a bunch of draft picks in that same defensive realm. They've got a bunch of defensive linemen. They got a bunch of secondary linebacker players over the past 3 years, a lot of them out of Georgia. So I think in terms of the money that he garnered, they're like, we got a bunch of these young guys we want to try and see. See what Noah, I can't think of his name, Nolan Richards and all these guys, see what these guys can do. And then with San Francisco, they had an abundance of defensive linemen as well. So to your point, it could be something there, but I just think he's had production at every level.
He's talented.
He's super talented, and I think it's all about the money and the draft picks that you kick out and that you spend. And I think that's the move you're looking for. You're not trying to go after Max Crosby if the money is right. You're not trying to go after Trey Hendrickson or Myles Garrett, who's going to cost you an arm and a leg.
Zadarius Smith.
Zadarius is affordable. Zadarius is actually affordable. It cost you a 4th-round pick. His is $1.2 million that you will be paying this year. $18 million, I want to say, is what he makes now over the next 3 years, his contract. So that's one that actually fits into your budget. And I know how it is to feel invigorated when you leave the Cleveland Browns. I left the Cleveland Browns. Hey,
all right, talk about it.
You talk about fitting the culture, Maz. Let's say Zadarius Smith was it. Maz, when I left Cleveland, I was so excited to get out of that hellhole and get to a team that actually made it to the playoffs, but at that time was 3-1. It's like Dave Montgomery said, whatever the team needs me to do. I practice every practice.
Yeah.
I gave extra effort.
You left your personal belongings at the locker room.
Never went back
because you didn't even want to look at it.
Brand new Sony Vaio laptop, brand new Apple laptop, and a whole bowl sound system. Keep it, because I'm going to New York where they actually care about winning, and they got to the playoffs. So
why didn't you call
he'll
me?
be coming in with that energy. That energy is reinvigorating. I don't think it'd be negative energy. It'd be more positive energy.
You know, Maz, I would initially, because I do believe for this organization specifically, being a football guy is almost above anything else.
Yeah.
Talent, contract, anything. I kind of feel like
not bad
that.
behavior, though.
I kind of feel like that on one end. On the other end, this team did take a chance on C.J. Gardner-Johnson.
They did.
Now, it didn't come at a long-term deal. If you've got to sign Reddick to a long-term deal, that is the part to me that would shy me away from Reddick, or not shy me away, but that is the part that I would think the Lions would be a little bit more shy to do, because one, they like long-term contracts with their own players.
Yes.
And they would basically not lay eyes on this guy and give him a long-term deal without really knowing who he is and what he's made of.
Is 2-3 years a long-term deal, though?
To them, I think it is.
Okay.
Yeah.
Pete, put up the free agent list that the Lions are going to pay again.
To them, I think it is.
You just put it up
But
before.
to them, I think it could be.
They're like a 1 year, hey, if we don't know you, 1 year is what you get.
I think that's
Look
it.
what they have to pay next year.
Well, this is what they got to pay next year. Amon-Ra, Panay, Jared Goff, Taylor Decker, David Montgomery, and now Aleem McNeil. In the next 12 months, and this is a tweet from Burkett, in the next 12 months, Levi Onwuzurike, Derek Barnes, Aiden Hutchinson, and Kirby Joseph. So there's 4 Lions. So are you going to sign a guy that really you just don't know anything about? And the answer to that, to me, is no. Now, Max Crosby, a guy that's under contract, a guy that's currently playing, that is a completely different deal.
Yeah.
Completely different. And we're not even talking about the one guy is currently playing for his team, and the other guy is a healthy player that is not playing. That alone doesn't feel like a Dan Campbell guy, a guy that's the guy that's totally healthy, that's choosing not to play football.
Well, the Jets are a bunch of idiots.
I understand that, and look, I will always side with the player business-wise. I think Hassan Reddick is doing what he feels he has to do for him and his family, and I don't begrudge him for that at all. What I'm saying is that feels like a big gap in alignment, mental alignment, from the current Lions organization.
Let me ask you another question.
Which is okay, too, by the way.
Let me ask you another question as it relates to this. What is the timetable, do you think, for the Detroit Lions assessment period on who and what?
2 weeks.
I said the same thing. I figure with the Minnesota Viking game, it's already here. You play that game out. They're the number 1 team in the NFC, per the record. You play that and you see how it is, and then you play a Tennessee Titans team after that who's trash. So I think that's the 2-week period. You see after that Tennessee Titans game, okay, What are we going to do? What's the move we make? Because if that offense is rocking and rolling against that Minnesota Vikings team and you look the part against them, I think now you have a very tough decision to make because you're going to beat the Titans. You finish 2-0 and you look good enough on offense and that defense holds up enough, you're going to have a tough decision to make in 2 weeks.
Trade deadline's 20 days away. Yeah. There's been many trades, and we'll go over them when we go around the NFL. Many trades already. Teams are not scared to start trading guys again. It looks almost like the NHL for a second. The NHL trade deadline is like second to none. The NFL trade deadline is starting to perk. They moved it into November, so it gives you a little bit more room. But what the Lions have to do this week, they cannot get 2 games behind the Vikings. You've got to win this game. This is a must-win this week. Otherwise, you're 2 back. And I know it's a long season. Yeah. And I know it's a long season, but got to win.
Yeah, but are you saying they have to win so they need to make a move today?
No.
Oh, okay.
It is what it is.
Yeah.
There's no way Reddick could come in and start.
That's what I
Yeah, there's no way.
Well, here's too, about the 2-week situation. You have to project where you want to be at the end of the season, too. I think that's really you're going to face Will Levis over the next couple of weeks. You're going to face Sam Darnold over the next couple of weeks. And no offense, Sam Darnold is playing really good football, okay? He's actually playing MVP caliber football.
He looks good. He looks comfortable.
But you got to project what you're going to see down the road, too. You're going to see Jordan Love twice. You may see that kid in Washington in the playoffs. You may see Jalen Hurts in the playoffs. You're going to see
Baker Mayfield again.
Baker Mayfield.
Don't act like they ain't beat us.
Don't forget about Caleb twice.
Caleb Williams twice. You can't let guys just kind of have all the time in the world back there. You have to get somebody competent and capable to rush the quarterback. And I'm not saying they don't have that now, but just look at what Aiden Hutchinson was able to do with having no help on the defensive line over the last couple of years. Sure, he had Aleem McNeil, but look how much better Aleem McNeil is now with DJ Reader. Look how much better Aiden Hutchinson was with DJ Reader and Aleem McNeil, and, oh, by the way, Marcus Davenport.
Right.
Those guys are better when they play with other talented players.
Facts.
And no disrespect to Aleem McNeil or DJ Reader or Isaiah Thomas or James Houston or Josh Pascal, but it does take a lot of talent, I feel like. Why was Aiden, basically just ask yourself, why was Aiden Hutchinson having a career year this year?
Inside, interior.
Because they added Reader.
Because this is the best defensive line. This is the best defensive talent he's ever suited up with in 3 years for the Detroit Lions.
That's a fact.
Period.
Yeah.
So don't kid yourself here on what you have moving forward. You got Jordan Love twice. You got Caleb Williams twice. You may see Jaden Daniels in the playoffs.
Yeah.
You can see Brock
Purdy.
You'll get there. This offense is good enough to get you there. Is it good enough to win the division? I don't know. Division's really good.
It's better than good.
Not to mention, you need to build cohesion. And I don't want to preach cohesion, chemistry, and be very cliche, but guess what? I'm very, very cliche. You got to have that chemistry. When I got to the Jets, when I left the Browns, it took a second to gel. Man, as I scored a touchdown in the first game, but it was on some play that I knew. It wasn't a system. It wasn't me knowing the system and me knowing Mark Sanchez and kind of knowing what he thinks and how he thinks and where to run the route. It took legitimately into the next season for us to get chemistry, but that's because he was a young quarterback. It takes time to build how you want to be used, how you see this scheme, how does this Aaron Glenn think. It takes time for Son Reddick to think that. So you don't, to your point, you don't waste a lot of time bring him as fast as you can if this is the move that you're going to make.
Dan Campbell talked about adding Isaiah Thomas. Again, Isaiah Thomas off of the Cincinnati Bengals practice squad, elevated to the active roster here in Detroit.
Cleveland drafted him, by the way.
Cleveland drafted him with the Bengals, though, right?
He's with the Bengals. But Cleveland, he was a draft pick.
Okay, so I was right.
No, you were.
Yeah, okay.
I just wanted to add that in.
Oh, gotcha. Okay. Cleveland.
In other words, he wasn't like some guy off the scrap heap. He was a drafted player.
Right. Okay. Here's what Dan Campbell had to say about Isaiah Thomas.
Man, I trust Brad on what he says, and he knows that. I'm like, man, you tell me it's gold, it's gold. If you tell me it's not, then it's not. So this move felt right for us. You know, we liked him. We're glad he's here. And he brings in more competition. We get somebody else to look at. He's part of the mix. And the more competition you bring in, the better you find out, you know, and those guys kind of go after it a little bit.
Appreciate the relationship between Brad Holmes and Dan Campbell. He said, if Brad tells me the guy's go, then the guy's go. If Brad tells me the guy's not, then the guy's not. That is an example of Brad's job is to do what? Is to bring in talent. Dan's job is to what? Is to coach that talent. I love that working relationship. But with that being said, it's not like he's a scrub, man. As you said, he got drafted by the Cleveland Browns, I want to say 2 years ago. I think he had 10 tackles. He had 2 pressures and a sack. So, I mean, he did get some game time. He did score statistically. You got to trust in Brad Holmes in this situation. This isn't him saying that this is the move. This is just, hey, we're adding bodies. We're adding a guy we know can play, and you know how he likes to give those second chances, and those guys are understanding. So I think this is a guy that's going to end up doing something for the Detroit Lions, but this isn't the move. Everybody today was like, oh, my God, this is the move that – relax. The mad scientist will cook with something, but this is one of those guys that he'll make some plays, and you'll see him show up for the Detroit Lions in some form, some fashion.
Hey, they
need bodies, too.
They took a practice squad kid last year in Kendall Vildor, and he was starting in the playoffs, and he's still playing. He's in the rotation. He's a good player. So just because you're on the practice squad doesn't mean that you haven't been coached up properly. So Isaiah Thomas might hit his potential here in Detroit.
I'm glad you mentioned that because I do believe, too, that the Lions have the best coaching staff collectively in the NFL. And when I mentioned the defensive line and all the great players that they had, I did not mention Terrell Williams.
Good call.
That's right.
Who is
one of the top guys in the league.
Absolutely one of the top defensive line coaches in the absolute league.
Completely forgot about that, how Hutch has developed under him.
Right. So, well, I mean, you have the talent, you have the coaching, and that's what it's
all good.
It's a perfect secret sauce. It's
the secret sauce.
Oh, I see you with the Doc reference. I see how you did that. Here's a good name since we have Terrell Williams and his ties are to the Tennessee Titans. Harold Landry is another name. Yeah. Harold Landry is another name that came up. I wonder what those conversations between Dan Campbell, Brad Holmes, and Terrell Williams are like, because there's some guys in that team.
It's a great point, Bray, because I think that was a perfect sound to just kind of highlight what most of us feel. I think all of us in this room, I don't think there's one dissenting voice on this statement, that whatever Brad Holmes decides to do, I think we're all in agreement that that's the right thing to do for this football team, whatever it is. Yeah. If he decides nothing, we can disagree with it, but there's a reason why he's not doing it. Yeah. And he is seeing 2, 3, 5, 10 steps down the road, too, as to why he wouldn't make a deal. Remember when we were talking about, why didn't the Lions sign Montez Sweat?
Yeah.
There's a reason for that.
Or Chase Young.
Yeah. There's a reason for that. I mean, this kind of feels like that from a year ago. No Chase Young, no Montez Sweat, probably no Max Crosby, probably no Hassan Reddick. But you get a couple of guys that can help you out. Who's going to tell Brad Holmes he don't know what he's doing? Not me.
Not me either.
He doesn't like to interrupt the flow the Lions have, and I think that's a big thing. And we keep talking about you can bring a guy in and he could fit and he's coming with energy. I think, but for the Detroit Lions, that energy is very sacred. It's very pure. It's all Detroit magic. It's all Brad Holmes. His signature, his imprint is on everybody. And none of those moves are made out of desperation. I feel like that's the one thing about it, too. None of those moves were, we have to make this, so we did this. Or then they pulled the trigger on something, and it backfired. They don't want that backfire, so that's the realm in which they're not willing to travel. But keep an eye on Isaiah Thomas, too, from this standpoint. Obviously, Brad Holmes he has a connect in Cincinnati. They bring in DJ Reader. DJ Reader works well. You bring in Isaiah Thomas. Definitely some conversations had between Brad Holmes and DJ Reader and Terrell Williams. This is a guy that they saw through DJ Reader's eyes, maybe, too.
Ryan, this is from Steve-O, baby. Ryan, people were talking about signing Chris Jones last year. Yeah, people were. We were. Brad Holmes probably wasn't.
Yeah, that's a fact.
Especially when you look at what they did. Would you rather one Chris Jones or would you rather DJ Reader and Aleem McNeil?
The latter.
I kind of would too.
Latter.
Right? Especially at the ages they are. Braylon's quiet.
Right. He won't Chris Jones.
It's just really not a fair comparison for me. I'm like, I saw Chris Jones No Chris Jones, no Super Bowl. You add Chris Jones, Super Bowl.
Yeah.
So that's it.
Fair
That's
enough.
It. To your point, the ages and the price points, yes, 100%.
Fair enough. Speaking of the price points, Ali McNeil signed a deal yesterday. We're going to talk about that next. But first, a message from the Boys and Girls Club of Southeast Michigan.
I got to start paying attention because Pete does a hell of a job, but I'm always just down into the program. The Boys and Girls Club of Southeastern Michigan, you got to register for their 3C Sports League, man, at bgcsm.org. Trying to put the youth back in evening sports, getting these kids out of the houses and outside, man, playing whether it's cheer or football. We got your kids covered because they will be vetted with coaches that have background checks done on them. So don't worry about that. Also, I believe the championship is this Saturday, KG.
Yeah, it
this
is.
Saturday, the BGCM challenge.
We'll be down there.
Except for
Boots on the ground.
We'll be down there hacking out, man. Look, everything is smooth and cool with this league. You know how I feel about it. I played in it as well. So Boys and Girls Club of Southeastern Michigan, 3C Sports League. And if you want to get in shape, there's only one place for you. It is Planet Fitness. Because you got to remember, your fitness is essential. And it's fitness that fits into your budget. So don't worry. We got you covered in more ways than one with over 50 metropolitan Detroit locations. This is purely the gym for you. Stress-free, judgment-free. It's all the free zones except the price point. But it is fitness that fits into your budget.
Can't get enough Lions coverage? Make sure you catch all Woodward sports shows every game day. Wake up with Woodward and Maine, giving you the latest insight into the Lions locker room and press conferences. Then join the Lions pregame show, highlighting key matchups, injuries, and what to watch for during the game. Follow all the ups and downs of the live game action with our Woodward Watch Party live on YouTube and WoodwardSports.com. After the game, check out the instant fan and host reactions with the Lions postgame show. Every game, it's wall-to-wall, kneecap-biting, high-fiving, chest-pumping Lions coverage.
Hell yeah!
Only at Detroit's #1 sports network, Woodward Sports.
Woodward Sports, let's go!
Stop searching for a vehicle and start finding one. Les Stanford Chevrolet Cadillac makes it easy. We harness the power of multiple dealerships and own the biggest selection of GM brands in the area to get you the car you need. With the Les Stanford Group, you'll have access to 4 different dealerships, providing you with more makes, more models, and more choices. We're connected to more than 1,000 vehicles. And with so many high-quality CPO vehicles available, you'll find new car quality at pre-owned prices. You can start and end your search at lesstanford.com today.
A network for the city, by the city. Woodward Sports is Detroit sports.
Prove that you can get just as strong at Planet Fitness. We're seeing if people can tell the difference between our 75-pound dumbbell and a 75-pound dumbbell from an overpriced competitor gym. Okay, the old flick test, that never fails.
There's literally no difference.
Plus, you can save $28 or more when you join today. Wow.
Why would I pay more to lift the same weights?
It's the Planet Fitness Strong Choice Sale. Save $28 or more. Join for $1 down, $15 a month, cancel anytime. Deal ends October 10th. Planet Fitness. Light price, strong choice.
The most talked about Detroit media by other Detroit media, and we love it. It's the Woodward Sports Network.
Into any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men today. Open 7 days a week. Sit back, relax, and enjoy precision haircut, scalp massage, hot leather neck shave, and hot towel treatment from one of our talented stylists. Step up your game this season and take advantage of our $20 haircut special. Scan the QR code and get your coupon today. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, the ultimate haircut experience. Open 7 days a week. Walk-ins always welcome. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. It's wicked awesome.
Love Woodward Sports? Love wearing clothes? Then you should be wearing Woodward Sports clothes. Check out our full line of merch at woodwardsports.com. Just click on Shop. We have all your favorite designs, like Dan Campbell kneecaps, Woodward Golf, and of course, our own logoed out merchandise. Men, women, infants, kids all love Woodward Sports. Impress your friends. Impress your boss. Impress your dog. Buy Woodward Sports merch today.
I feel you.
Hey guys, streaming a financial pitch. Mark White and Associates, your trusted real estate experts, are here to help. Mark White and his team will pay up to $5,000 of your closing costs. Kenny, $5,000. That's right.
$5,000.
Call Mark White and Associates today.
$5,000?
248-290-8242. Visit them online as well, markwhitesells.com. Again, call Mark White and his team today. 248-290-8242 to make your dreams come true.
I promise that was a former life.
Oh, man.
Soroki's, baby.
So
Home
great.
of these new
Present
signature
life.
wings, and you gotta try them. If you want the best ones, they're lemon pepper. We won't even waste your time, but all of them slap. In the words of KG, they got the buffalo. And don't forget about the teriyaki. The Parmesan is amazing as well. They taking over the wing game, man. Now it's football season this fall. It's time to have those wings. You want to go to Soroki's to close that deal. And if the wings aren't your speed, they got the crispy chicken and pizza too. So don't forget about that. Fountain Souls are amazing. And then those honey biscuits. You can just go there and get a bunch of honey biscuits for anything that you do because the honey biscuits is where it's at. Soroki's.
That Soroki's is a real deal, man.
It's taking over, man. Every time
no
I
doubt.
go to like a party or an event somewhere with my boys' house,
No doubt.
Soroki's on the floor. Man.
No doubt. Guys, big news yesterday. The Lions extended Aleem McNeil. It is a 4-year deal with $55 million guaranteed, upwards of $97 million on the contract. Makes him the 4th highest paid defensive tackle in the game right now. Here's what Dan Campbell had to say about Aleem McNeil earlier today.
Speaking of that, fired up for Mac, you know, man, he earned that. He's a pivotal piece here for us, and you know, he's one of our pillars here. You know, no different than these guys that we've signed back. So we're fired up for him. He's playing at a high level, and he's going to have to continue. It's something we wanted to do, and we know we knew we wanted Mac around here long term. You know, I just go back. He's one of the original. He's that original 21 class, man. He's part of that core with St. Brown and Sewell and those guys. And so I'm glad we got that done, man. And he earned it, you know. And I mean, everybody loves Mac. So it's good to have Buttercup back.
Buttercup. I tell you what, I feel like the Detroit Lions always have the big guys with the best names. Nick Fairley had a dope name. I can't remember what it was. Obviously, we had Snacks.
Jerry Ball.
Jerry Ball, the ball man. So they've always had 100% the big guys with the big names. But this is a big move for the Detroit Lions. But it's once again, you do right by us, we do right by you. You prove that you belong. You prove that we drafted you for a reason. We'll pay you and take care of you. He was listed by ESPN as one of the freakiest players in the NFL, and this was before the 2023 season. Last year, he finished the year with 5 sacks. This year, after 5 games, he's already at 2.5 sacks. And I think he's shown the Lions enough to say, all right, we put DJ Reader next to you. Aiden Hutchinson stepped up, and so did you. It's time to reward you, man. So I'm excited you got paid, and it's just another example. As a former player, I love it when the coaches do what they say they're going to do, when the program and organization does what they say they're going to do. He bought, they paid him, and now it's time to be – he deserves it.
Hey, has anyone outside of Detroit heard of Aleem McNeil? And
yes.
He's the you think so?
Yeah.
And he's the 4th highest paid defensive tackle
but it happens like
in the game.
But
he's not a big name.
What's
what
that?
I'm saying.
What's that list? Because
Christian Wilkins.
Yeah, Chris Jones makes the most, $31 million. The rest, everybody else is between 24 to 28.
Christian Wilkins.
Wouldn't know him either.
That's the hard hat guys.
Yeah, that's a great way to describe it. Those are the hard hat guys. And again, Braylon, as you pointed out, we showed with the Dave Burkett tweet of all the guys that got extended and the guys that will get extended over the next 12 months. This organization has become one of the best companies in the NFL. And what I mean by that is if you are out there on the job market and you are looking at a bunch of different companies, don't you want to go to a good company that is going to give you a raise, that is going to promote you, that is going to really let you develop, and if you develop, you're going to move up in that company? Like, that's really what the Detroit Lions have become. You come here on the ground floor, you work hard, you're going to get playing time. You show us what you can do with the playing time, you're going to get a contract. You get a contract, you get paid. You get paid, you're a leader. And all of these things, it is a real life company that brings people in, lets you work hard, and you're rewarded for that. You don't have to beg them to get paid. You don't have to beg them for a raise. You just have to go about your business. You look at Cincinnati, you look at San Francisco, you look at Miami, you look at some of these other teams in the NFL that have struggled this offseason, Pittsburgh, a million times over. You look at some of these other teams, Dallas. Look at some of these other franchises in the NFL, and you look at their players, and they're begging for new deals. The Jets, who we just talked about with Hassan Reddick.
Yeah.
These players are begging for new deals. You don't have to beg here in Detroit. We're going to take care of you. And what happens is, around draft time, you've got agents that want to you've got players that you've got agents that want their players to come here, and come free agent time, the Lions are your first call.
It's bizarro world. You remember the old Lions, obviously, the SOLs?
It's the old LA Clippers.
Right. No one wanted to come here.
It's like the Lions,
the Clippers are still like that.
No, I know, but I'm
Jets.
just saying, it's like the Lions, the Clippers, the Jets.
Yeah.
Just some of the
bad
Florida Marlins.
Bad franchises.
Yeah.
And now it's the opposite. They are the top franchise in the NFL when it comes to wanting to be on a place where you're going to take care of you, where they're putting a great product out, and where it's a great place to live. This ain't the old Detroit anymore. This is new, guys.
Well, Ryan, you bring up a good point, and you compare it to a corporation. Look, what Sheila Ham did in this process, like she went out and researched help. She stopped approaching this Lions team like football and just sports and who's the best coach and who's this and how are we bringing this player. Started approaching it like a business because, Ryan, this is a $1 trillion industry. So she went out and she asked various owners and corporations and CEOs, what's your business model? What's your business plan? How do you have success? And she was able to take it and put it in with the forward plan, which already is very successful. And now you have something like Google. You have sustainability. You promote from within. You have Sundar Pichai, who's the GM, who's the CEO of Google. He runs a hell of a show, kind of like the GM here in Brad Holmes. You have amazing team leaders. You have amazing coaches for the Detroit Lions. And then you got everybody at Google wants to be there. People want to be on those teams. People want to provide to Google. People want to be on the Detroit Lions. Players want to play here. They want to show. They want to prove. And then the other thing is you tell those individuals at Google, if you do this, you'll get here. If you tell them here at the Lions, hey, look, if you play, we will pay you and you'll sustain. And that's what Brad Holmes is doing at every turn. They run it very much like a Fortune 500 company. It's not like the NFL. This is big business, and it's in Detroit.
No doubt about
Would you
it.
like to play for the Raiders, or do you want to play for the Lions?
No,
it's not even a comparison.
Not even close.
Not
even close.
There's no doubt. Guys, Brian Branch has won the NFC Defensive Player of the Week award.
Yeah. Who else was going?
2 interceptions, a forced fumble, a quarterback hit, 2 pass breakups. The guy is all over the place, and it's really pretty incredible what he's come here and do.
Second round
I
pick.
forgot which ESPN guy said it. But credit to that person. There were 44 times that a team had a pick and passed over Brian Branch. 44 times. So all 32 teams, and a couple of teams passed him over twice. You think about that for a second.
What did I tell you about this guy when I saw him on draft night?
Right.
The second night, I watched this kid stay. He's the only guy that stayed for day 2. And he came out, and he got his just desserts. And I said, this is a guy to watch. And he showed. He showed you what kind of guy he is. He is all about the Lions.
No doubt.
Yeah, I think Brian Branch is probably your best player on defense, and I don't think it's close at this point. And I think in terms of the span of the team, I think Brian Branch probably third. Like right now, I think he's the third best player on the team. I think Amon-Ra St. Brown is 1. I think Penei Sewell is 2. And I think Brian Branch is 3. The things that he's allowed to do on offense is very reminiscent of what Antoine Winfield Jr. Does down there with the Tampa Bay Bucks. And we know how good he is. He even received Defensive Player of the Year votes last year. He's that type of player, kind of like Jabril Peppers when he was at Michigan, that Viper position. He can blitz. He can cover your best wide receiver. He can cover your tight end. He will come up and stick you. He does so many things on the defensive side of the ball. He's going to end up being the best player on this team, not named 97.
This from the chat right now. Otter, I think I'm saying that right, Otter. LMAO, Ryan, sometimes you make stuff up. Brad is ruthless. He isn't on to you. Your legs are chopped. Bugs, Sutton, CJGJ, Irvin, Betts, the list goes on. He will entice you in and toss your ass. Well, this isn't socialism. Not everybody gets paid.
Right.
This is a meritocracy.
Right. What?
What are you talking about?
This is capitalism. Bugs has had problems. He's been cut twice since. Sutton has had problems. Out of here. CJGJ, no good. Irvin, Betts, the list goes on. Yeah, you don't
CFL guys.
Did he say Irvin?
Yeah,
Bruce
Irvin
wasn't even in the league for 3 years when they bought him in.
Right.
What are you talking
And
about?
Matthew Betts is from the CFL.
He had a big play, though.
Oh, my God. He had a sack.
This ain't
Put Derek Carr on the shelf.
This ain't socialism here for the Detroit
Right,
Lions.
like, what is he talking
Not
about?
everybody gets paid the same amount.
And you can't make everybody happy.
Right. But Kirby Joseph was on with Amon-Ra and Equanimous St. Brown on their podcast and talked about the relationship he has with Brian Branch.
Who's the best player you ever played with, in your opinion?
Yo, really? It's really like, I feel like it's BB, bro. Like, but I ain't never seen nothing like that before, bro. Like, his versatility is crazy, bro. Like, I know I be doing some crazy stuff, but I ain't never really had nobody do crazy stuff with me, too. You know what I'm saying? Like, we both be doing crazy stuff hand to hand.
That
so
sounds
it's just
crazy.
Like,
He's doing crazy stuff
bro,
with him. Like, hold on. Pause that. But keep going. On some video.
Come on, bro.
He said, I never
I'm
had
talking
somebody
about
do
out
crazy
there in the
stuff
field,
with me.
man. We in the field with it, man. We in the field with it. Know what I'm saying? We in the field with it.
But nah, I feel you.
Bro, like, I feel like, bro, I be doing like some phenomenal stuff, but the stuff he do is just miraculous. Like, he just be, I don't know how he be doing it out there in the field, man.
He got
like,
the
out there in
adjectives
the
ready.
field.
Like, he said miraculous.
Miraculous, bro. Like, it just be crazy. I remember we be in practice, and like, I took it down one time, and like, he was back there playing the post. I think it was like a deep over or whatever. But man, he jumping through the ball, man. I'm over here trying to catch him. He jumping through to make the play, and I'm looking like, bro, how is you over here? Like,
what happened on that one versus the Cardinals, bro? You guys both hit each other. I'm like, damn, someone should have got the pick.
Oh,
on the sideline,
it was
remember?
like, yeah, it was a scramble drill, bro, and like that's what I'm saying though. Like, I'm not like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I be out there, but like, I never really had nobody out there that's be close to the ball, like
Right.
with me. You know what I'm saying? So we
Like
both
ball
be-
hunting, yeah.
Yeah. So it's like we both be at the ball. So when that happened, I wasn't even mad.
Right.
I was like, yeah, hey, it come with it, bro. It come with it, bro.
By the way, Kirby Joseph looks like he's Greg Oden, like he's 88 years old.
Right.
Where's it coming from?
Secondly, and Brian Branch gets all the love. But let me just say this about Kirby Joseph, okay? And I mentioned this the other day, but I want Braylon's take on it. Kirby Joseph has 4 interceptions this year. He has 4+ interceptions in each of his first 3 seasons in the NFL. The only other player to do that in the NFL, in the history of the NFL, or excuse me, let me rephrase that. The last player to do that was Ed Reed.
Yeah,
2002, 2003, 2004. So it's a list of 2. It's Ed Reed and Kirby Joseph. The Detroit Lions PR put this stat out. When teams have thrown passes into the end zone against the Lions this year, they are 1 of 14 for 10 yards. 1 touchdown, 5 interceptions with a 23.8 quarterback rating. Joseph is the only player in the NFL to have 4 interceptions in the end zone since 2006. That's as far as the stat goes back. So in 2006, they started accumulating or, understanding where the interceptions happen. He's the only player since they started charting that has had all these interceptions in the end zone. It's a good player.
They should hang a banner for that, I think.
I think so too. Let's add it.
The old Lions, hang a banner.
Look, I can't argue with stats. He's one of 2 people.
Uh-oh.
Ed Reed. I can't. It's not a moment. It's not an uh-oh moment. I can't.
Not yet, but I feel like he's trying
I cannot argue with stats. This is what I would say about.
Hey, you're a Hall of Famer. You can say what you want.
This is what I would say about Kirby Joseph. Kirby Joseph knows how to find the ball. He's a ball hawk, and then in big moments, he definitely seems, when it's passing down, he seems to be able to find the ball, and he seems to be able to make big plays. And he showed us that his rookie year against Aaron Rodgers. Hell, he retired Aaron Rodgers realistically from the Green Bay Packers. I give him a lot of love in that department. I'm just not completely sold as a complete safety. I feel like there's a lot of moments where I look and he's out of play, he's out of position. But once again, when he finds the ball, so it's love there for him. I just got to see it completely, and I got to see it on a more consistent rank because he disappears a lot. And then he'll have that interception, and you're like, oh, you look at the stat book, there'll be 0-0, but then there'll be an interception. So as a complete player, there's work to be done. But as a ball hawk, he's a specialist, and obviously he's the best in the NFL at that particular category, which he should be tooting his horn on that.
Very good, very good.
So no hate.
Yeah.
No hate. Appreciate.
100%.
Guys, the Lions have a pretty big challenge this week against the Minnesota Vikings. Vikings coming off a bye, 5-0, one of 2 undefeated teams in the league this year. Minnesota and Kansas City both 5-0. And their defensive coordinator is ready. He was asked today, Ben Johnson is as creative a play caller, is as creative a play designer as we have seen in quite some time in the league. Brian Flores was asked about what it's going to be like facing a Detroit Lions offense led by offensive coordinator Ben Johnson.
Against an aggressive play caller, and I guess you'll see some of this weekend. How does that change things for a defensive coach trying to counter that?
I mean, I try to fight fire with fire, That's just me. I mean, some other people are different, but that'd be my answer to that one.
I love that purple background. I love that purple sweatshirt he's rocking.
You love everything about the NFL.
I do.
And I love you for it.
I do.
This is going to be a heavyweight fight. Ladies and gentlemen, get prepared for a heavyweight fight. And you know what happens in heavyweight fights, Maz? I know you remember back in the day at Madison Square Garden.
Someone's getting knocked out.
Haymakers.
You know what? Both teams will get knocked out because Brian Flores is damn good at what he does. He's one of the best defensive coordinators. He learned under the best. He's one of the best. You've seen the reason why the Minnesota Vikings have had so much success is because that defense came out of nowhere, surprised a lot of people. They've been playing great and allowing Sam Darnold to play with lead, play with a little bit more confidence. In a heavyweight fight, both fighters get hit. Ben Johnson will throw his best stuff. Sometimes it won't. Brian Flores will try to counteract, and sometimes it won't work. It's going to come down to the come down, but this will test Ben Johnson. We keep talking about the genius. Then we keep seeing the genius. Last week, the playbook was phenomenal. You didn't even need it against those bums, but the playbook was phenomenal. We want to see how good the Lions offense is. We want to see how good Ben Johnson is. This is going to be the game for that because Brian Flores, you saw him get hyped at the beginning of that conversation. You saw him drink his Gatorade bottle and then put the water bottle down. That's those players' vibes. That's when you know you're going into a fight. I cannot wait to see this chess match. It is going to be a heavy chess match between Ben Johnson and Brian Flores.
This, to me, feels like a 41-38 game.
Yeah, shootout.
I don't know why. I mean, it just, I don't think the Lions are going to be able to stop anybody because they get a lack of pass rush, perhaps.
Yeah.
And I don't think that anybody's stopping the Detroit Lions. I'm sorry, Brian Flores. I just think this offense is just humming right now. First time since 1962 the Lions have scored 40-plus in back-to-back weeks. This is the offense that we thought they were going to be.
What year was that?
1962.
That's my year.
Look at you.
Hey,
How about that?
shout out, man.
I'm telling you, this is their year, buddy.
It feels like a 41-38 game.
I don't care. I'll take it.
The thing that makes their offense so crazy, and what I've seen just early on, and the more games you have, the more knowledge you have, they can run in any situation.
Yeah.
And I think what happens with a lot of teams, man, is once you, especially this NFL, where it's not a lot of great running backs anymore, where there's not a lot of focus on the run game, when you get behind in this day and age, it's tough to come back because you can't run the ball. You got to pass the ball. And that's why Micah Parsons and the Cowboys are so good when Dak is up by 2 touchdowns. The Lions can still run down 10 because they got Jameer. They have David Montgomery. Both those guys can catch out of the backfield, and they stay in their lane. Keep an eye out on that. The Lions won't panic if they get down early to the Minnesota Vikings. If the Vikings get down early, I guarantee you'll see Sam Darnold. You'll see that offense. You'll see it press a little bit. It won't look as clean as the Lions.
Listen, man, they gave Jared Goff, and you heard Brian
$53
Boldinger.
million a year.
Brian Boldinger said he had enough time to look on his phone and go on his Snapchat.
TikTok.
That's how long that Jared Goff had. If you could give him that, there's no team that will stop the Lions. If the Vikings get a pass rush on them, you know it's going to be a different game. That's all I got to say. Protect Goff, you win.
Yeah, and on the other side of that, one thing we do well is stop the other teams from running the ball.
Stop the run.
And Minnesota, we don't know what's going on with Aaron Jones. Yeah. It seems like he may be hurt for a while because they just traded for Cam Akers. So
you hate it, but it works for us.
Exactly. Yeah. So if you're already going into that knowing that the other team is going to be one-dimensional, then I feel like that's an easier game for this Lions defense, whether they have a pass rush or not. Of course, it will be a fight, but if the Lions can stop the run like they do with seemingly every team that they go against, I think we'll be fine.
It's a huge stretch of games here for the Detroit Lions. The next month, they've got
Who's on the schedule?
one cupcake.
Tennessee
at home. The Lions go at the Vikings, home against Tennessee, at Green Bay, at Houston. Sunday Night Football. This is a huge, huge month for the Detroit Lions. Huge. And then you got Jacksonville and Indy, which whatever. But just the next 4 weeks alone, pretty big deal.
What are your thoughts on Houston Texans? I don't want to switch from the Detroit Lions because I don't think they look like the team I thought that they would look like this season. Still decent.
Different team without Nico Collins.
That's still damn good.
But that's what I was going to say. Even with Nico Collins, they struggled a little bit in there, but without Nico Collins, isn't it crazy that in the 2 guys get injured, leading the league, Nico Collins and the wide receiver, Michigan, Aiden Hutchinson defensively sacks, Michigan.
I hate to say I told you so, though, Bray, but they were the team that I left out of the playoffs, and I'm probably going to be wrong about that. But I just it felt like a little bit of a sophomore slump. This team was a 4th and 3 dropped ball away from not making the playoffs last year.
C.J. Stroud's the real deal, though.
He is. He absolutely is. And I believe in him, but I just something.
Look at Joe Mixon. He's been reborn in Houston.
But he's been out.
He
He's not running right.
Yeah.
He ain't running right.
No, 100%. He was good. Like with game 1, he was real good. Had 2 touchdowns. It looked like this was going to be the new thing.
I mean, they're 5-1. They're clearly going to win that division.
They're going to rob.
Yeah, that defense is a monster.
You gotta look at this.
They are the real deal. No question about it.
They are the class of that division.
The Patriots scored 21.
But as far as division goes, the NFC North is the best division in football. It's not even close. And you look at the point differential for the teams this year. Minnesota leads the point differential 63 points more than their opponent. Then the Lions at plus 60, the Bears and the Packers. They're the only team. Those are the top 4 teams in point differential in the entire NFL, all 4 teams in the league. Also, by the way, this is the first time since realignment in 2002, Braylon, that all 4 teams in one division have had 4+ wins after 6 weeks. That has never been done in the NFL since realignment.
Yeah, I'm gonna get to that. I just want to get this out. You look at that Texans. You look at that defense. It's supposed to be the defense with that D'Amico Ryans, Will Anderson Jr. They almost lost to the Bears. They gave up 34 to the Vikings. They gave up 20 to the sorry Jaguars, 21 to the sorry Patriots, and 20 to the Bills, who are slightly over. They're okay. So watch out. That defense hasn't been as good as I thought they were going to be. Now, to answer that question, we said before the season that this division was going to be tough. Man, as I told you, that I like this division better than the AFC North. Like, you look at what they're doing, Eberflus, his attention to the offensive side, really picking that up so they can ride that defensive wave. And then Green Bay and Jordan Love, Matt LaFleur is showing you that he is behind the Green Bay machine. Even Malik Willis had 2 wins in that offense. It's a very good division. But this is how it used to be back in the day. Yeah, this is how it used to be. Minnesota was good. The Bears were good. The Lions would be fighting for the playoff, and Green Bay was always good. So it's kind of getting back to that mid-'90s where everybody was fighting for the playoffs.
Black and blue division's back.
And this is where you go, Maz, what you were saying earlier in the show about how important this game is.
Yep.
Because you're essentially 3 back of the Vikings if you lose, because you've got 2 losses, but they own the tiebreaker. You could potentially get that back with the game at home here later in the year.
2.5, then we'll call it.
Yeah, sure.
It's also a mental important game. And the reason why this game is so important mentally, Ryan, is for the defensive side of the ball and for the Lions in general. Who did they just lose this past Sunday? Who are they playing this coming Sunday? The number 1 team in this division, because they're 5-0. If you beat this Minnesota Vikings team in Minnesota, players are going to have a new take, a new look. The mental is going to be through the roof, because you know what they're going to say when they get back in that locker room? Can't nobody F with us, and it takes your mental to the next level. Now guys are paying more attention to detail. Now guys are putting in more hours. Now guys are playing outside themselves. Hell, maybe Kirby Joseph gets another 4 interceptions before the season's over, maybe another 4. So if they win, for the mental, it turns the Lions up a whole heck of a notch.
We ready.
Hey,
we ready.
Hey,
we
for boy, y'all. Let's go.
Let's go. All right, guys, break time. When we come back, expected to be joined by the great Lomas Brown. We'll do that next. But first, a message from Dr. Pierce.
All right, Doc will join us tomorrow. You know him from Michigan Sports and Spine. He's got that special sauce to get you going. It's Dr. Pierce. He joins Big D Energy every Tuesday. He's with us on Thursdays. Of course, he was with us last Monday to talk about Aiden Hutchinson's injury. Trust the guy at DMAC and Braylon Trust. Hell, we all trust him. For more information, visit MichiganSportsandSpine.com or call 248-426-9944. Dr. Jeff Pierce. And I had my bell here. I don't know where it went.
Ding,
so
ding, ding.
just pretend the bell is ringing. It's the Salvation Army Red Kettle campaign. Visit registertoring.com to sign up for shifts. You'll have the option to choose a 2-hour session at a physical Red Kettle site or participate in virtual bell ringing to raise funds from the comfort of your own home. You can do that at any moment. Traditional bell ringing begins Friday, November 7th and runs through Christmas Eve, except on Thanksgiving and Saturdays. To sign up for volunteer shifts, you got to do it, guys. Visit registertoring.com. It's the Salvation Army Red Kettle campaign.
Can't get enough Lions coverage? Make sure you catch all Woodward sports shows every game day. Wake up with Woodward and Maine, giving you the latest insight into the Lions locker room and press conferences. Then join the Lions pregame show, highlighting key matchups, injuries, and what to watch for during the game. Follow all the ups and downs of the live game action with our Woodward Watch Party live on YouTube and WoodwardSports.com. After the game, check out the instant fan and host reactions with the Lions postgame show. Every game, it's wall-to-wall, kneecap-biting, high-fiving, chest-pumping Lions coverage.
Hell yeah!
Only at Detroit's #1 sports network, Woodward Sports.
Woodward Sports, let's go.
Stop searching for a vehicle and start finding one. Les Stanford Chevrolet Cadillac makes it easy. We harness the power of multiple dealerships and own the biggest selection of GM brands in the area to get you the car you need. With the Les Stanford Group, you'll have access to 4 different dealerships, providing you with more makes, more models, and more choices. We're connected to more than 1,000 vehicles. And with so many high-quality CPO vehicles available, you'll find new car quality at pre-owned prices. You can start and end your search at lesstanford.com today.
A network for the city, by the city. Woodward Sports is Detroit sports.
Prove that you can get just as strong at Planet Fitness. We're seeing if people can tell the difference between our 75-pound dumbbell and a 75-pound dumbbell from an overpriced competitor gym. Okay, the old flick test, that never fails.
There's literally no difference.
Plus, you can save $28 or more when you join today. Wow.
Why would I pay more to lift the same weights?
It's the Planet Fitness Strong Choice Sale. Save $28 or more. Join for $1 down, $15 a month, cancel anytime. Deal ends October 10th. Planet Fitness. Light price, strong choice.
The most talked about Detroit media by other Detroit media, and we love it. It's the Woodward Sports Network.
Into any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men today. Open 7 days a week. Sit back, relax, and enjoy precision haircut, scalp massage, hot leather neck shave, and hot towel treatment from one of our talented stylists. Step up your game this season and take advantage of our $20 haircut special. Scan the QR code and get your coupon today. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, the ultimate haircut experience. Open 7 days a week. Walk-ins always welcome. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, it's wicked awesome.
Is that an octopus in your pants, or are you just happy to see me? See what I did there? Go Red Wings! From Octopi Experts Woodward Sports.
Gonna give a shout out to Weston Stanford.
Oh,
Happy
Weston.
birthday to Weston
All
Stanford
right.
at Les Stanford Chevrolet Cadillac Buick GMC. What happens when you run a great business for over 50 years? You expand. You need a new car, a pre-owned car. Need some service? Look no further than Les Stanford. Added a dealership, the Buick GMC dealership in Ferndale, located on Woodward Avenue, just south of 9 Mile. And if you're looking for a Chevy or a Cadillac, Les Stanford in Dearborn, where they have been on Michigan Avenue for over 55 years. You can find the brand you want under one umbrella. LesStanford.com, LesStanford.com.
Together, let's ride.
And drive on over to Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. Walk in Eddie Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men today. Open 7 days a week. Sit back, relax, enjoy a $20 haircut, scalp massage, hot leather neck shave, hot towel treatment from one of our talented stylists. Take advantage of our $20 haircut special. Just scan the QR code and get your coupon today. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, open 7 days a week. Walk-ins always welcome. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. It's wicked awesome. You know who else is wicked awesome? The great Lomas Brown.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, sir.
Absolutely.
I
One of
got
our
Big
favorites.
Lon.
Haven't
The
talked
big
to this
fella.
guy in
Big
quite
Lon.
a bit.
The big
but there
fella.
he is.
Okay. Let me square it up. Wait, is that me?
Oh, square it up, Lo.
There you
This
go.
guy.
How you doing, Lo?
I'm great, man. I'm great. Hey, look, especially after that butt whipping we put on Dallas, I'm feeling good about myself.
Let me start there. Let me start there, Lomas, because you're in the booth. You're in Dallas. It's a place the Lions haven't won in forever. They haven't beaten the Cowboys since 2013, and they're absolutely trucking the Cowboys. And I mean, they got Dan Skipper lined up over here. They got hook and ladders to Penei Sewell. It was just incredible. What was your take on that game? And we'll get to the Hutchinson, but first the good.
Hey, look, it wasn't just my take. I think every alumni, all the way back since the 30s, if they're still around, they felt that one. I mean, It felt like the guys were fighting for all the past years, all the atrocities that happened in Dallas to us, all the illegal things they did, like picking up flags and ineligible receivers and just everything that's gone on throughout the years with the Dallas Cowboys. It just felt like we got it all off our chest at one time, and it was great. It was great for us to go in there and win a game that we were supposed to win like that. Dallas was a beat-up team. We knew we had a far superior team than they had, and we went in and did what we were supposed to do. So I'm proud of the guys.
Big fella, always good to talk to you, man.
Yes, sir.
Hey, shout out! Tomorrow I'll be able to join you in the Michigan Sports Hall of Fame. I know you went in 2013. I'm going in tomorrow night, man. So you and I'll be a part of another brotherhood.
Well, you know I'm gonna serenade you, my brother, because we'll be there. So you know
sir.
the big fella's gonna serenade you. I
appreciate you. Appreciate you, my guy. Look, there's a lot to talk about in that game, man, but there's also more to talk about, so I'll spare you that. Just ask about one player. Just talk about the emergence of Brian Branch, man. Maz has been talking about him since he didn't get drafted on day one, and he came back day two, and he was ready, and he was looking at the fans and excited to be here. Just talking about him taking up. It looks like he's finally found his form.
Yes, he has, Braylon. And, every time we do a broadcast, you know how they say, where's Waldo?
Yeah.
I say, where's Brian Branch?
Yeah.
Because I'm telling you, man, they can line him up anywhere.
Anywhere.
I seen him, Braylon, the end of the line of scrimmage. I seen him in the linebacker box. Of course, we know he's back there at the safety position. He could cover slots. He could cover. I think he's just as good enough to maybe even cover your number one, number two wide receiver.
I'm telling you.
Yeah, and then comes up and lays the wood. So he's almost kind of like our Benny Blades, just a more talented Benny Blades for us, a guy that just sets the tempo and really just makes this team go. So I'm so proud of Brian, what he's able to do. And think about it, Braylon. He's just in his second year. So this dude is only going to get better and better and better.
You ain't lying.
Hey, Lo, I got something for you. On Sunday, I'm walking around my house like a rooster. I'm like crowing. I'm like, oh, revenge. Oh, my God. I was feeling so good after the Tigers sucked the life out of me on Saturday. The Lions gave it back to me. And then came Hutch's injury. And I swear, as a fan, I'm not over it. I don't know how you guys felt about it and how you look back at your career and something like that happened in your career as well. How was it, and where do they go from here?
So first of all, I'll say this: I'm proud of the guys for bouncing back, because, and it's not in the same vein. So I don't want people to take this the same way. But when Mike Utley went down in 1991 during the game, and he was down for a long time. Not probably a little longer than Hutch was down. But Braylon knows, man, when you're there and you lose a comrade like that, you lose one of your own like that to a devastating injury. I mean, it kind of makes you think about things for a little bit. I mean, we have to clear our minds. We got to get back to the game at hand. But it makes you think. It gives you a moment to pause.
It's an eerie period.
How brutal. Yeah, absolutely, Braylon, because we know how brutal this game is. And one injury could end your career. Hell, one injury could kill you out there on that field. So, just the respect that I think every NFL player, every guy that's ever played the game, that what they deserve, just the courage to go out on that field each and every Sunday, Monday, or whatever day and give it your all, knowing that that could be your last play. You could have a devastating injury. So I'm happy the guys were able to bounce back, because that's a tough thing to do, like I say, when you see one of your own go down like that.
Yeah, Lomas, like, we know what it is. You sign the dotted line. You know what you're playing. You know the sport. You know what comes with it. But you forget about it. It gets put on the back burner because you don't see it. But in those moments when Hutch goes down, and now you got the other team praying. Now you got your team praying. Now you got Dallas. Even Dallas, unruly fans. Now they're quiet. Now they want peace for Hutch. That's in that moment where you realize you are mortal. Like, this can come. This can happen to you. And so I think it's that eerie period where you're like, oh, shoot, maybe tread gingerly. But you know us, we're warriors and we're gladiators, man. After about another 5-7 minutes, you get hit one time, you're back locked and loaded.
Yep, you're right. You're absolutely right. So, like I say, I commend those guys for being able to put that behind them and keep their foot on Dallas' neck.
Yeah.
Hey, Lo, what do you think now, as you've been with this team most of your football life?
400 years.
What do you think they do going forward? Do they sign the practice squad guy like they just did in Isaiah Thomas? Is that it? Does James Houston come back into the fold? What do you think this team does going forward?
It's an outside move, a big one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's funny you guys brought that up, because after the game, me and James walked to the bus and we had a long discussion. I was talking to him just about the same thing, and what he told me, he was like, he was sad that this happened, but he was looking at it as an opportunity. And that's how, that's how you have to do.
Yep.
You got to be able, and it sounds cold to people that hadn't played that game, but Braylon knows this game gonna keep moving on with or without us. This game is going to continue to go on. Like you say, Braylon, it's somebody else wearing number 75 for the Lions. The same number I had, somebody else is wearing that. So
it's a 17 for the Jets.
Move on. That's right. That's right, bro. So they're going to move on, and that's what you have to do as an individual. You got to be able to compartmentalize, and then you got to be able to move on and look at it as an opportunity. And James is looking at it as the right way. This is an opportunity for him to get back in the good graces of the team, and this is an opportunity for him to put his name out there and be able to accomplish some of the goals that he wants to accomplish.
Yeah.
Hey,
go ahead, KG.
Yeah, sorry about that. Hey, Big Long, pleasure to talk to you again, man. And I got to ask you about this Lions offense, which seems to be running at peak efficiency right now. On Sunday, you saw a little bit of everything. The run game was working. J-Mo was working. Laporta was working. They tried to get offensive linemen in the end zone. Everything that you could possibly want from this Lions offense, you got. Is this, should we expect this to be the norm? And what are your takeaways that you're seeing from the offense through 5 games so far?
Yeah, KG, look, long as they establish the run, starting the game like they did, it's
spoken like a true lineman.
But Braylon,
no, you're right. You're right.
Everything runs off of it, right?
Hell
Play
yeah.
action pass for Jared Goff. If we can't run the ball, Jared can't go back there and play action pass. And to me, I said this before the season started, my MVP, offensive MVP, was David Montgomery. To me, he's the cog that makes that engine go. I mean, I know how important Jared is, and I know we can't have any success without Jared. But I'm almost at the same level with David Montgomery. Even though we have Jahmyr Gibbs, David is the one that makes that engine go. He's the one that helps Jahmyr Gibbs in that running game, too, by getting the party started. So, to me, so much is predicated off the run for the Lions. You have to start right there first. And then, like you say, you can have your big men getting touchdowns. You can line the big fellas out. You could flip the ball to Panay. You could do all those things once you establish the line of scrimmage and establish your dominance over a team like they did with Dallas.
Hey, Lomas, let me ask you. This is the defending NFC North champions. Last couple of years, they have pretty much owned the division. I know they split with a couple of teams last year, but this is the first division game for this team this year. How important is it for the Lions to go into Minnesota, set the tone, and tell the rest of the division, we're still here? Nice try, guys, but we're still here. We own this division.
Yeah, we want to be king of the jungle, and that's what a lion is, right? That's where a lion roams at, in the jungle. So we're going up to Minnesota, and I think we'll take care of business. Now, look, Minnesota, their defense is number 2 versus the run. So we got to test now, because like I just said, we got to be able to establish the run. They're very good against the run, but they're only ranked 27th against the pass. So again, for us, establish the line of scrimmage, but it's going to be important. And to be honest with you, Ryan, I think this is going to be like one of those old black and blue games, one of those old NFC Central games. It's going to be some hitting going on. Somebody going to get hit in the mouth a couple of times during the game. It's going to be one of those type of games, but I do think we have more talent. I think we have the superior talent, and I expect the Lions to go in there and win a tough, close game. Maybe a 3-point game I'm looking at. Maybe
We're more physical.
24 game. Oh, yeah. And they're physical. Look, Braylon, think about Brian Flores. Think about him going up against
Ben Johnson.
Yeah, them guys going
heavyweight
back
fight.
and forth. That's right. And we know they like the blitz too. I think they blitz just as much or maybe more than any team in the league. So you're right. It's going to be a heavyweight fight, and we're going to see who takes the last punch.
I want to ask you about the Lions offense. Just how much in the run game, obviously, absolutely, it's the bread and butter of this offense. But how much of a difference has Jameson Williams made to this offense?
Oh, my goodness, man. Hey, if you just look at some of the play designs, I mean, it's just unbelievable the respect now that these DBs have to give Jameson because of that speed. I mean, if you watch it, and Braylon don't seen it, sometime you'll see J-Mo and you'll see Amon-Ra on the same side of the field. And then all you see J-Mo do is run a streak route just to clear it out. And then you see Amon-Ra coming underneath once he clears it out. It's just been amazing to see how they work. It's been amazing to see how Ben Johnson kind of put those pieces together and kind of have these plays kind of emulate each other to where a lot of times you really don't know what they're running. A prime example during the game, they ran the same play. It had to be 2 plays apart, but they ran the same play. The only thing they did was just change up the formation. But it was the same exact play they had ran 2 plays earlier. So kudos to Ben Johnson for what he does, how he's able to disguise different things, all the different formations, the motions, all the different things he does pre-snap. Kudos to him and that offense.
You know, the Lions were blowing out the Cowboys this week, and it just did not stop them from all the trick plays. Again, the Dan Skipper lined up to the wide receiver, Penei Sewell, which should have been a touchdown perhaps. Yeah. Tom Brady joked on the broadcast. He was like, I'd keep some of these plays in my back pocket. Do you think Ben Johnson even cares? Do you think they believe in themselves so much that even if it's coming, they can't stop it?
Man, you know what, Ryan? I believe that. I believe he really believes that in his heart. And the other thing, man, I bet he got a playbook full of trick plays. I'm telling you, man, this dude is so creative. And he's not afraid to use anybody. So that's what makes him so dangerous. Like I say, look how he's splitting out linemen. I've never, until Ben Johnson, I don't think I've ever seen a lineman go all the way out past the hashes. But he got guys doing that. He'll bring linemen in motion. I mean, they got so many different things that they're doing. So, yeah, I do believe, Ryan, that he has that utmost confidence in the team, in the offense, that whatever he calls, they're going to be able to run it successfully. But I also believe, man, he got a thick playbook, and he got a whole bunch of plays in there that he hadn't used yet.
And Loam, we seen a couple of extensions recently. Monty last week got extended through 2027, and then yesterday, Aleem McNeil, 4 years, $97 million with 55 guaranteed. Now, at first glance, they may look like a lot of money, but I just want to get your take as to the extensions.
And the second glance.
Yeah, right. But if anybody earns it, deserves it, I think it's those two. Can you just give us your take on those extensions?
On which extensions? On the David Montgomery?
Yeah, Montgomery and McNeil.
Yes, man. Again, way to Brad Holmes, way to be ahead of the curve. Way to tie down your important guys. Get them tied down early. Get them tied down now. Man, I think Brad is just doing such a great job. Again, David Montgomery, I'm so happy he'll be here another 2 years because, again, this guy, to me, like I say, is the heartbeat of the offense. And the dancing bear, that's my guy, Aleem McNeil. The big fella's balling up in there, man. I'm telling you, he is balling up in there. I'm telling you, if DJ Reader keeps playing the way he's playing, you watch how Aleem keeps getting better and better as this season goes along. You know what he kind of reminds me of, the defense, Braylon? It's kind of like how they played Warren Sapp and Booger McFarland.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, Booger was the guy like
Simeon on the outside.
Eat up those blocks. Eat up those blocks. And then you had Warren Sapp, who's like Aleem. Yeah, that 3 technique that's going to penetrate and get upfield on you and everything. So, again, those two guys work great together. All we got to do is keep them healthy. But I'm so happy they're going to be here for a long, long time. And both of those guys deserve the money that they got. Hey, Braylon, I wish I was playing now.
Man,
Come on, bro. The money they getting now. Oh,
these jokers are making some cheese. It's funny you bring up that Buccaneers team. When I played at the Citrus Bowl my freshman year, it was a Monday night game. It was the Steelers versus the Bucs, and this year the Bucs won the Super Bowl. Man, I watched Warren Sapp and Booger McFarland just lean into that Steelers offense. The Steelers had an offensive line with Faneca and all those dudes. Man, it didn't matter. They destroyed them. Man, you're absolutely right with that. That's a good call.
Hey, Loam, thanks so much for the time. I want to leave you with this. Tomorrow, we're very proud of our own Braylon Edwards. He's going into the Michigan Sports Hall of Fame, going to be inducted into the Michigan Sports Hall of Fame. You were inducted in 2013. Any great words for Braylon here as he gives his speech tomorrow night?
Been working on it.
Yeah, man. You know what? This is, I'm older. He calls me Unc. It's almost like watching one of my kids, man. I remember Braylon when I first got here. Of course, me and his dad Stan played together and everything, and just to see him grow, not only as an athlete, you know what I'm saying? Just take the athlete part out of him. I'm proud of him as a man, as a community leader. What he does for our kids, what he does in this community, that's what makes him a Michigan Hall of Famer to me, what he does in the community. So I'm proud of you. I'm proud of you, nephew. Keep it going.
Appreciate
and
you.
The big fella going to take care of you tomorrow night.
Hey, come on, Lomas. I got people watch the show, man. It make me teary-eyed up here. I got
awesome.
We'll see you tomorrow,
I
Lomas.
appreciate you. Love you, bro.
We'll see you tomorrow, Lomas.
You guys
Thanks,
take
Lom.
care.
Thanks,
right.
buddy. The great Lomas Brown, Hall of Famer to everybody around here. Just a Hall of Fame guy.
Can't wait till he goes into Canton.
Oh, man, he is just the best. We love him so much. That's pretty cool, Bray.
It is, man. I've known Loam a very long time, and I call him Unc. Like, I legitimately have known him since the 80s, and I just remember hanging out with him and my father, and Loam just always a bright, big smile, always great energy. I never felt like I was in the presence of someone that was as good and as dominant as him. He was just Unc, and he always took time for me, man. So it's crazy how time flies. Like, I remember it like it was yesterday, 91 and 92. I'm 9, 10, 11 years old, and I'm 41, and we're in the same spot, played the same sport at the same level, man. So no Super Bowls for me. But
hey, we get to see Kenny Holland tomorrow, the manager.
That's right.
The manager.
Going in.
Kenny Holland's going in. Is Larry Foote going in tomorrow?
Foote's going in, but he won't be there. He'll have his dad probably come on his behalf. Deanna Nolan is going in. Don Shane's going. Posthumously. Cecil Fielder is going.
Oh,
in.
Big Cess.
Big Cess
45 is going to be there.
That's a hell of a
Jim
class.
Harbaugh?
Yeah, Jim probably prepared a message, if anything. I think there was a goalie from Michigan Tech.
Tony Esposito.
Yeah, there you go. From like
Esposito,
the
No,
60s?
is he?
Yes.
Tony O?
Tony O.
Tony O's passed on.
Yeah.
So maybe Phil will be there. His
Sean
brother.
Respert.
Michigan
Wow.
State.
So
LSU.
here's the class: Ken Holland, Don Shane, Jim Harbaugh, Sean Respert, Deanna Nolan, Jake Long, Braylon Edwards, Yvonne Pudge Rodriguez, Larry Foote,
Pudge.
Cecil Fielder, and Tony Esposito.
I got a story about everybody. I got a story about almost everybody on that panel. I'm gonna be up there for 2 hours. I promise you, I'm joking.
I love it. Can't
Great
wait.
stuff, man.
Hey, I'm
Great
missing
stuff.
bowling for this.
I'll make it worth it.
What time does it
I'll
start
make it
tomorrow?
worth it.
6 o'clock.
I have to be there at 5:45, but media starts and the hors d'oeuvres and the carpet or whatever you want
6
to call
to
it.
9,
6
it
to
says.
7.
Yeah.
It's 6 to 7 is the first part. The program is 7 to 9, and
All
then like
right.
the after party is like 9 to 10.
Oh, that's great, man. That is
Are we hitting the
fantastic.
casino when we're done?
100%.
Oh, all right.
Yeah.
100%.
Hey, Bray, we gotta roll some bones.
Myself.
I got you.
All right,
I got
buddy.
you.
I put a bet down for
Let's
you.
roll some bones, Bray.
Sports book?
some
No,
bones,
can't do
baby.
that either.
All right.
Okay.
Hit that sports book
Oh,
up.
man, let's go.
All right, guys, we'll take a break. Come right back. We'll go around the NFL. But first, a message from us here at WSN. Woodward in Maine. Kick off your game day with us here with the NFC North champs. Woodward in Maine. Terry Foster, Matt Broder, 8 a.m. to 9. Woodward in Maine. Brought to you by Tangerine Space Machine, Taller, your local long drink, Sabbath Coffee, and Tullamore Dew Irish Whiskey. Then stick around for the New Holland Brewing Company Lions pregame show. Sean Belegian and Neil Rule, 10 a.m. to noon. Woodward Sports live at Second Best Bar on home games. Away games are here in studio, but they're always 10 a.m. to noon. Detroit's #1 sports network, brought to you by Tangerine Space Machine, Taller, your local long drink, Sabbath Coffee, Tullamore Dew Irish Whiskey, and Les Stanford Chevrolet Cadillac Buick GMC.
And you can fuel your Lions fandom with the perfect cup and become a subscriber of Sabbath Coffee Roasters. Whether you're gearing up for a big game or savoring a quiet morning, Sabbath Coffee Roasters has you covered with fresh, locally roasted specialty coffee delivered right to your door. Head to www.sabbathcoffeeroasters.com, choose your favorite roast, use the code word Woodward, and you can get 25% off your first subscription order. Awake and unwind, support local, and enjoy game day right with Sabbath Coffee Roasters. We'll be right back, folks.
Can't get enough Lions coverage? Make sure you catch all Woodward sports shows every game day. Wake up with Woodward in Maine, giving you the latest insight into the Lions locker room and press conferences. Then join the Lions pregame show, highlighting key matchups, injuries, and what to watch for during the game. Follow all the ups and downs of the live game action with our Woodward Watch Party live on YouTube and woodwardsports.com. After the game, check out the instant fan and host reactions with the Lions postgame show. Every game, it's wall-to-wall, kneecap-biting, high-fiving, chest-pumping Lions coverage.
Hell yeah.
Only at Detroit's #1 sports network, Woodward Sports.
Woodward Sports, let's go.
Stop searching for a vehicle and start finding one. Les Stanford Chevrolet Cadillac makes it easy. We harness the power of multiple dealerships and own the biggest selection of GM brands in the area to get you the car you need. With the Les Stanford Group, you'll have access to 4 different dealerships, providing you with more makes, more models, and more choices. We're connected to more than 1,000 vehicles, and with so many high-quality CPO vehicles available, you'll find new car quality at pre-owned prices. You can start and end your search at lesstanford.com today.
A network for the city, by the city. Woodward Sports is Detroit Sports.
To prove that you can get just as strong at Planet Fitness, we're seeing if people can tell the difference between our 75-pound dumbbell and a 75-pound dumbbell from an overpriced competitor gym. Okay, the old flick test, that never fails.
There's literally no difference.
Plus, you can save $28 or more when you join today. Wow.
Why would I pay more to lift the same weights?
It's the Planet Fitness Strong Choice Sale. Save $28 or more. Join for $1 down, $15 a month, cancel anytime. Deal ends October 10th. Planet Fitness. Light price, strong choice.
The most talked about Detroit media by other Detroit media, and we love it. It's the Woodward Sports Network.
Into any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men today. Open 7 days a week. Sit back, relax, and enjoy precision haircut, scalp massage, hot leather neck shave, and hot towel treatment from one of our talented stylists. Step up your game this season and take advantage of our $20 haircut special. Scan the QR code and get your coupon today. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, the ultimate haircut experience. Open 7 days a week. Walk-ins always welcome. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. It's wicked awesome.
I love Love Woodward Sports? Love wearing clothes? Then you should be wearing Woodward Sports clothes. Check out our full line of merch at woodwardsports.com. Just click on shop. We have all your favorite designs, like Dan Campbell kneecaps, Woodward golf, and of course, our own logoed out merchandise. Men, women, infants, kids all love Woodward Sports. Impress your friends. Impress your boss. Impress your dog. Buy Woodward Sports merch today.
All right, it is time for a long drink, a gin-based long drink. What? Right here in Holland, Michigan, it's New Holland Taller, the Dutch long drink from New Holland Brewing Company, and it is shoulders above the rest. I'm damn near addicted to these things, man. Made from small batch gin and grapefruit for a fresh and delicious flavor. Taller is your local long drink. And while you sipping on that, browse our merch store. Why not? Go to woodwardsports.com, click that merch tab, or that shop tab, excuse me, and we got all types of gear, everything to get you fresh and right for the game. You know the Lions playing them Vikings for the NFC North this coming Sunday. You got to have some gear for that, man. Pistons coming back. Get you some gear for that. The Wings, they going to get it together. Get you some gear for that too, man. Everything you need at woodwardsports.com, and click that shop tab.
Everybody needs cash, so you know where they're passing out at Caesars Sportsbook. This
Word.
is the best sportsbook. That's why we here at Woodward Sports book with Caesars Sportsbook. What if we told you we can give you up to $1,000 in the bonus bet if you lost your initial $1,000? That's what they do. They want to take care of you, the patron. But you got to use that code word, and that code word is Woodward1000. It's all in caps. You see the bets, you see the parlays, you see the plays. Maz, what's going to happen today in baseball? You got the parlay? You can't tell them. You do?
I do.
Well, you guys got to download the app, order it, and then once you do that, Maz will give you the play of the day. Just scan the QR code above my head right now, Caesars Sportsbook.
All right, welcome back, Woodward Sports Network. It was great to hear from Lomas Brown. So many great things.
Top of the line.
Absolutely.
Unks is top of the line.
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. All right, guys, let's go around the NFL. Tom Mazaway.
You got it, man. Hey, Tom Brady, it's official. He is a part owner of the Las Vegas Raiders. Yes, 10%, but I don't understand it. He owns 10%, but they're showing him as a 5% owner.
Yeah,
I guess,
I don't know.
I guess he's splitting it with, who's the other Patriot player? Richard Seymour.
Richard Seymour.
Yeah, so I guess they've split.
He
split the 10%. Yeah, so Richard Seymour and Tom Brady are now part owner. So here's what we've been telling you about. When Brady becomes officially an owner of an NFL team, look at these restrictions that are now on top of him.
So this is a big deal, I think. Not permitted to be in another team's facility, not permitted to witness practice, not permitted to attend broadcast production meetings, either in person or virtually, prohibited from publicly criticizing game officials and other clubs, subject to NFL's gambling policy, and subject to the NFL's anti-tampering policy. Guys, I don't think he can last in that Fox job.
No. Of course not.
It's going to be extremely difficult to do all of those things well. Call a game and question the officials. That is a big part of it. Having some insight onto how many times do you hear like some of these game analysts maybe like, "Oh, we saw practice the other day, and we saw that play."
Correct.
After they run it.
Yeah.
But it's like, oh my God, we knew this was coming. We knew Ben Johnson was going to pull this one out of his hat when we talked to him on Friday.
He's already struggling just to get the gig down. But here's what I read. I read a lot of the comments underneath the exemptions. And one guy's like, leave it to Tom Brady. He takes a job that he only has to work part-time at, and he still owns an NFL team. So he doesn't have to do any work for the broadcast except, I guess, answer KB's questions. That's it. It don't work, guys.
Pretty crazy.
It can't work. You can't, especially with the referees. Come on, that's part of the broadcast.
I won't argue Maz on this one. He knows all inside and out as it relates to the guys in the booth and what they do and what makes them successful. So I'm not arguing with that guy on that. I just think for Tom Brady, it'd be another challenge. He loves challenges. We've seen that all throughout his career, whether it was college, whether it was the NFL, whether it was switching teams. He likes the challenge. This is another challenge for him. This is a homework type job. He's the best quarterback of all time. He's the best NFL player. This is what people say about him. It's because he does the homework. And he's operated at the highest level in the highest position IQ-wise on the field. So this is just more information. There's more insight. I think he'll eventually get into the role a little bit, man. It's like Belichick. They have so much knowledge, so many stories. stories and so many connecting points that they don't have to be in a production meeting because it's only football. It's only the personal side and the personal stories. Pretty sure they can watch TV. I'm pretty sure they can get feels through some things. I think Tom will figure it out because as you see this in commercial, it's time to get back to work.
Yeah.
It's not easy just to walk into a game last minute and do your stuff.
I'm sure they're going to have
your boy Burkhardt and him. They're going to all have dinner. They're going to sit down. They're going to talk.
Yeah, they'll talk.
But
there's work
But
around.
to not be, I guess they, whatever, man.
He'll be better than Romo.
That bothers you the most, huh?
Pardon?
That referees part.
Yeah, of
like
course.
That part's tough, Ryan.
Of course.
Yeah.
You got to swallow the whistle. It's not the way you do it.
So it's boring. Now it becomes a boring brand of commentating.
Hey,
Yeah.
Jets play the Steelers this week. Jets, of course, got a real bump
Do
this
we have
week.
to watch that?
They've got Devontae Adams now. There's a two-part story to this. Devontae Adams now in New York Jets. So today, the new head coach, or interim right now, Jeff Ulbrich, I do believe he'll get the job, though. Jeff Ulbrich talked about getting Devontae on the team.
You know, obviously the team knows who he is, and
Dirty.
just integrating him as fast as possible into everything that we do. You know, fortunately, I've never met him prior to him coming in yesterday, and what an amazing human being. You know, you never know what a superstar is going to be like. Sometimes, you know, a little weird sometimes, and not at all. Just the humility I felt on him, the great teammate I felt on him, the love for football. I'm so excited to add this guy to our not just to the field as a player, but to the locker room from a culture standpoint.
A 1.5-point underdog to a 1.5-point favorite over the Steelers.
Did you see McAfee, the Aaron Rodgers, Pat McAfee appearance?
We did.
Yeah.
And
he looked old.
And
Devontae stuck his head in there. It was fun.
Pretty good.
It was really cool. By the way, the Steelers play them this week.
Russell Wilson's
The
back.
Steelers are bringing Russell Wilson back.
From the dead?
From the dead. Justin Fields, who
He
has
ain't got
done
nothing
everything
left.
that you've asked him to
Nothing.
do. And Mike Tomlin's rolling the dice, and he's sitting the kid down, and Danger Russ has got the ball.
Hey, look, man. Justin Fields, like you said, he did everything you asked him to do. They're 4-2. They're tied for first in their division. He's at 1338 total yards, 10 touchdowns. And what hasn't he done? He hasn't turned the ball over. Now, it hasn't been pretty. It's been ugly.
He has no running game.
But 100%.
Yeah.
Najee Harris. I don't know what happened to Najee Harris
And
after
Jaren Warren.
2022.
Jalen Warren stinks, too.
And I don't know what happened to and maybe it's the offensive line. The offensive line has struggled in the last year, a couple years or so. But Russell Wilson, that ain't it.
I'm curious about this. Like, why would I don't think the Steelers' offense has been like tremendous or even good or even average, to be honest with you.
There it is.
10 touchdowns in 6 games is not anything to look at and be like, oh man, yeah, our offense they're doing it defensively. Mike Tomlin knows more about his own team than I do, clearly.
How many touchdowns in 6 games? In 6 games they played?
6 games.
And they have how many touchdowns?
10.
That's like 1.5 a game.
Yeah, exactly. So it's not very good, but
More than the Giants.
Russell Wilson to me is just completely.
Well, we'll see, right?
done.
We don't know.
We'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see.
We haven't seen him
I
in a
just
Steeler
probably
uniform.
wouldn't mess with a 4-2 team. I'd lose a game first.
Yeah.
You know.
Well,
Makes
this is like the two underachieving teams going at it, although the Steelers do have a winning record.
Speaking of underachieving, did you see what Dak Prescott is averaging per pass attempt? 5.1. Maz, it's the lowest in NFL history.
Wow.
Sheesh.
It's the lowest in NFL history, 5.1 yards.
Man.
An attempt.
How about them Cowboys?
You got one more for me?
I got a couple.
Okay.
Hey, Bills yesterday traded for Amari Cooper, we told you. So what did they do right after that? They let Marquez Valdez-Scantling walk.
He'll
Just
end
like-
up with the
I
Chiefs.
didn't even know he was there.
Just like the Jets
Oh, he'll end up
are
with
going to
the
let
Jets.
Mike Williams walk or try to trade him. Both those receivers don't have long
Yeah, maybe
with their
he'll
teams.
go back to with Aaron
He's
Rodgers.
going home to Aaron Rodgers, like they all do.
He won a Super Bowl with
The Chiefs.
The
Kansas
Chiefs,
City,
yeah.
too.
Oh yeah, he did. Yeah.
He was good in that Super Bowl
Yeah, he
game.
was.
Yeah.
And
They're going after the Chiefs are going to get DeAndre Hopkins.
You think?
Ooh.
Mark my words.
All right.
Okay.
Cam Akers traded to the Vikings from the Texans, and the Packers switch kickers. They get rid of Braden Narvison. They drafted him, and they signed Brandon McManus, the former Jacksonville kicker. Got in a little trouble earlier in the year, but they signed him. The Jets have kept Greg Zuerlein. I don't understand why. He's terrible. Absolutely terrible. Terrible.
Everything about the Jets is terrible right
He's
now.
a turd.
Very
good.
Andrew
turd,
Thomas,
man.
Giants All-Pro tackle,
Out.
done for the year. Liz Frank surgery on his
Ooh,
foot.
that's a big one.
That's a bad one.
That's a bad one. All right, guys. Break time when we come back. Wolverine Wednesday brought to you by our friends at Skinny Butcher. But first, a message from Pete Spivak over here.
Yeah, Swiss Insurance, everybody. Right now, more than ever, it's critical for you to have your insurance reviewed, and Swiss Insurance will make sure that your carrier is not slipping in those extra fees. Lions post game. Call the number on your screen today, 313-530-1698. Or
He's in the box reading Swiss.
Or at the SwissINS.com.
Get it together, Pete.
Braylon, that's production on the fly.
Pete is dialed in, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes,
you know
sir.
what? You should be dialed in, too, to the post-game show with Stick and Answer. Now, we had Stick in here yesterday talking about what this post-game show is live at the Hayes Social. Look, we're the #1 network in Detroit, in the state of Michigan as it relates to sports, but we want you to be a part of the show. We want you to be a part of the team, and you want you to be a part. So you jump on right after. You can comment, you can call, you can do the things, get you into the show. And it is a blast, fun, especially immediate reaction. Tangerine Space Machine, that's who brings us this, as well as Sabbath Coffee, 1800 or 1-800 Tequila, as some people say. And then, like KG always tells you about your local long drink, you know what time it is. Taller, come and support the post game or just turn on and watch.
Can't get enough Lions coverage? Make sure you catch all Woodward sports shows every game day. Wake up with Woodward and Maine, giving you the latest insight into the Lions locker room and press conferences. Then join the Lions pregame show, highlighting key matchups, injuries, and what to watch for during the game. Follow all the ups and downs of the live game action with our Woodward Watch Party live on YouTube and WoodwardSports.com. After the game, check out the instant fan and host reactions with the Lions postgame show. Every game, it's wall-to-wall, kneecap-biting, high-fiving, chest-pumping Lions coverage.
Hell yeah!
Only at Detroit's #1 sports network, Woodward Sports.
Woodward Sports, let's go.
To prove that you can get just as strong at Planet Fitness, we're seeing if people can tell the difference between our 75-pound dumbbell and a 75-pound dumbbell from an overpriced competitor gym. Okay, the old flick test, that never fails.
There's literally no difference.
Plus, you can save $28 or more when you join today.
Wow. Why would I pay more to lift the same weights?
It's the Planet Fitness Strong Choice Sale. Save $28 or more. Join for $1 down, $15 a month, cancel anytime. Deal ends October 10th. Planet Fitness. Light price, strong choice.
A network for the city, by the city. Woodward Sports is Detroit Sports.
Walk into any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men today. Open 7 days a week. Sit back, relax, and enjoy precision haircut, scalp massage, hot leather neck shave, and hot towel treatment from one of our talented stylists. Step up your game this season and take advantage of our $20 haircut special. Scan the QR code and get your coupon today. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, the ultimate haircut experience. Open 7 days a week. Walk-ins always welcome. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. It's wicked awesome.
Is that an octopus in your pants, or are you just happy to see me? See what I did there? Go Red Wings! From Octopi Experts, Woodward Sports.
1800 Tequila, that good Blanco to be exact. The official tequila of Woodward Sports Lions watch parties and post-game show. Join 1800 Tequila and Woodward Sports every Lions game live from Hayes Social in Shelby Township and celebrate the wins with Smooth 1800. We'll be cracking that on Sunday. Proud sponsor of your Detroit Lions, 1800 Tequila, the best taste in tequila, and please drink responsibly.
Want to know where the best Lions pregame party is going to be on Sunday, October 27th? You can join us at Detroit's very own second best bar located at 42 Watson Street for the ultimate fan experience. Enjoy some smooth Tullamore Dew Irish whiskey while catching the Woodward Sports pregame show only at the second best bar. Come get some.
And let me tell you about KDK Law, dealing with divorce, child custody, visitation, other family law issues. Kevin and Catherine at KDK Law in Birmingham will have your back. 10 plus years of experience, 24/7 availability. Scan that QR code above my head right now or call 248-971-0476. Say Woodward Sports sent you, and KDK will pay your filing fee. KDK Law, they got your back. Guys, this is a look in the mirror game, as I'm calling it. Michigan and Illinois on the road in Champaign this week. Let's bring in our Wolverine insider, Alex Ziolkowski. This is our Wolverine Wednesday segment brought to you by our good friends at Skinny Butcher. Alex, how you doing?
I'm doing great. You know, Michigan had a tough game a few weeks ago against Washington, but had a good bye week, and I'm feeling good about this weekend.
Alex, it looks like you have dreads or something. Go back to the 3-shot.
I thought I saw gray hair. I was going to say,
I'm like, no way.
That is awesome. That is awesome.
Super Saiyan or something.
Yeah.
Super Saiyan.
No, despite the rumors, I do not have dreadlocks.
Is that a Christmas decoration or something?
Yes, it is an artificial Christmas tree technically.
Oh, wow.
I don't think it's real, but
Celebrate early.
I love it.
In his attic.
Only piece of decor I've had in my room in any year of college. So
That's awesome.
That's great. All right, Alex. What have the last 2 weeks been like for Michigan?
So the last 2 weeks for Michigan has been really about focusing and, a lot of self-scouting going on, especially during the bye week. And that's been evident during the press conferences. Especially on the defensive side of the ball, every player and coach keeps talking about the importance of wrapping up and taking a good angle to whoever has the ball and, preventing missed tackles, which we've seen plague Michigan throughout the season. Then on the offensive side of the ball, everyone keeps talking about finding their consistency and rhythm as a unit to actually be able to go out there and put up points and end the struggles they've been dealing with. And hopefully we see all that come to fruition this weekend.
Hey, Alex, I wanted to ask you a little bit about Illinois. They're starting to play some good ball, and I think it's Brett Bielema, the effect of him. And believe me, this is one game. This is like beating Ohio State for us. He wants to beat Michigan. What do you think of the Illini this year?
So the Illini are an interesting team to look at because initially they look good. They're a ranked team, but when you dig, their record isn't as impressive as it really looks. So far, in their record against the teams they've beat, or the record of the teams they've beaten this year, are 11-20. But once you take Nebraska out of that equation, the other teams they've beaten are combined 6-19 on the year, and they've had 2 one-possession games at home against teams who only have 1 win on the season. So from that regard, Illinois isn't as strong as they look like. But then you have to remember, this is a Brett Bielema team, so they're going to be really big on both sides of the ball. Big offensive line, big front 7 on defense. And then they're also going to be really safe and take care of the ball. Luke Altmaier is similar to Will Rogers at Washington in that he's coming in this game with a 14-1 touchdown to interception ratio. And then also, Illinois is one of the best teams in the country in terms of turnover margin. So they don't turn the ball over a lot, and they're pretty good at getting it out from the other team. So Michigan really has to play a safe game and not shoot themselves in the foot to escape Champaign with a win this weekend.
Hey,
go ahead.
Oh, sorry. Hey, Alex, good to talk to you again. And Jack Tuttle has been named the starter for this game. And mistakes aside, in that last game against Washington, it seemed like he did give them a spark. I liked a lot of the things that I saw from him. He will be probably the starter going forward. Can he, in this Michigan offense, turn things around?
I'm not sure if there's really the possibility of full turnaround for this Michigan offense. However, what Tuttle brings to the table is he is clearly comfortable pushing the ball downfield, and the coordinators and coaching staff are okay with making those calls for him as well. And then because of that, teams can't come out with as stacked of a box, which should hopefully help this Michigan run game get going and find more consistency. So that's really what Michigan needs and what I think Tuttle will help bring to the table for Michigan. Now, I don't think this will become some elite offense out of nowhere. Still having some struggles with wide receivers, and Jack Tuttle, as I've said many times before, was in the same recruiting class as Justin Fields and Trevor Lawrence. So the fact that he hasn't put it all together by now isn't great. However, I think he can help Michigan get to become a respectable offense and be in the top half of college football instead of in the bottom half overall.
Alex, is Sharon Moore starting to feel a little bit of heat, feel a little bit of pressure, or because I feel like this season could go south real quickly, and a loss at Illinois could do that. How confident do you think they feel? What do you make of Sharon Moore and moving forward here?
Yeah, I think there's no way you could not feel any of the pressure if you're Sharon Moore. You're a head coach of one of the biggest brands in college football, coming off a national championship, and one that with some scandal around, so people really want to see your downfall very badly. So there definitely is pressure. And I think they realize that if you're trying to salvage the season from even we don't think it's likely sitting here. However, they only have one Big Ten loss still, and if they were to somehow win out, they would make the college football playoff at a 10-2 record. Again, don't think that's happening, but if you're him, you really have to look at it at a week-by-week basis and know that, like you kind of alluded to, any given loss could kind of send this team into a downward spiral and, turn it into a bit of an embarrassment for a season. So there definitely is a lot of pressure, and I think that's been a word both the players and coaches have been using a lot this week in the press conference has been urgency. And I think that is felt throughout the building of, the fact that you're not just Michigan and can walk in and win. You actually have to go out and win the games yourself is the important thing. So, yes, I think that sense of pressure is getting felt throughout the program right now.
What about any of the injuries? Do we anticipate some of the guys that have been out to come back and play this week?
Yeah, as discussed in the press conferences, Miles Hinton is expected to come back this week. Derek Moore is cited as being a day-to-day guy. Even though Dominic Jadis is out, it sounds like Greg Crippen has cemented himself as a starter at center. So Michigan is walking into this game pretty healthy from an injury aspect.
Hey, I wanted to ask you about the Michigan State game. Of course, we find out that they have been picked up by Big Ten Network, and that just kind of seems weird because in years past, most networks will be grabbing, reaching to get that game. What is your take on that? Do you think that's weird in any way?
I do not really think it's weird. This is ultimately a game that, as much as I hate to say it, really won't affect the national picture of college football that much on the season compared to years past. Neither team is going to be in the top 15 by the time they play, most likely, unless something really weird shakes up in the poll. So I do not think so. And I think also, there are just some better games that weekend for other networks to show. So it really isn't that surprising to me that it is on Big Ten Network.
Speaking of the Big Ten, Alex, just taking a look at the big game last week, Oregon beats Ohio State. Crazy finish to that game. Do you think that shakes up the Big Ten? How do you feel about that game and look at the Big Ten moving forward? Are those the two best teams, and will we see them again face off in the Big Ten championship game?
One thing we know for sure is Oregon is definitely the best team in the Big Ten. They should have won that game by more than a point. There were multiple times where Dylan Gabriel missed a wide-open Tez Johnson on the fourth down conversion in the red zone. The interception there's a play in Ohio State's first drive that should have been an interception that wasn't called that way. So I think Oregon really should have won that game by double digits and cemented themselves as the top dog in this conference this year. And then with Ohio State, I'm not quite sure they're the second best team in the Big Ten yet because I just think Penn State is a very legitimate team. They went out and beat USC on the road, which USC is not an amazing team this year, but we've seen the struggles with the.
We beat USC.
USC sucks, Alex. That doesn't count that doesn't count for anything.
Hey, Big Ten teams, when they have to travel 2+ time zones, are 3-11 on the season so far. So just the cross-country travel isn't easy.
Good call.
And then Penn State gets Ohio State at home, and Ryan Day continues to fail to win the big games. Against top 5 teams, he is 2-7, and the lowest he's ever been ranked in any of those games is the number 4 team in the country. So this guy is not good at beating teams with equal talent or hype. So that way, I think with that game in Happy Valley, I wouldn't be surprised at all to see Penn State go out and win that game. So while I think Ohio State's definitely one of the top 3 teams in the Big Ten, I'm not sure if you can say they're on track to make the Big Ten title game again.
I'm glad you brought that up. You said, that the Big Ten teams are 3-9 or 3-10. What did you say?
3-11 cross country.
3-11 cross country. Interesting thing is we always talked about it, Ryan, and I know you were at school when Michigan traveled out on the West Coast.
UCLA, baby.
And we used to always tell them, like, hey, look, when you guys came over here, it'd be different. The Pac-12 is 1-9. Yep. Like, the Pac-12 is 1-9 coming this way this season. So just let you know, it's a little tougher when you got crossed to Mason-Dixon. Go ahead.
No question.
Mass.
Hey, Alex, who would you rather have as your head coach at Michigan? Sharon Moore, James Franklin, or Ryan Day?
Sharon Moore.
Wow.
Personally, I think we still have a lot to be proven with Sharon Moore. However, we already know the shortcomings of Ryan Day and James Franklin. Ohio State, they recruit on a great level, but struggle big in the big games. And, well, that's been James Franklin's mantra the whole time. He's, 3-5 against Michigan or 3-9 against Michigan, and most of those years he's way better than Michigan, or by Penn State having a good team with Saquon Barkley, or Michigan was just way worse and in the gutter. So at least I'll take someone who has a lot more to prove and has had a positive track record, where I feel like we know the ceiling of Ryan Day and James Franklin at their respective jobs right now.
All right, if this show goes south this year and he loses his job, Sharon Moore, who would be your pick, your number one pick to coach the Michigan Wolverines next season and beyond?
Ooh, that is a very hard question to answer right now if the whole show went south. One of the looks I'd have to give initially is Matt Campbell at Iowa State. We've seen him do it multiple times, turn one of the perennial bottom feeders of college football into a top 10 team. Like they are this year, they might go out and win the whole Big 12 and make the college football playoff.
Amazing.
So right now, that'd be my first phone call as the if I was Ward Manuel. Have to do some more research and figure out who I'd like. Some other guys I like is, even though he's at his alma mater, Brent Key at Georgia Tech is running a great program, has built his team and identity around running the ball and getting a good rush game, and he's shown he can recruit well at a school that prioritizes academics more and might not have all the NIL resources of their rivals. So I think that'd be another good guy from Michigan to go out and take a look at.
How about PJ Fleck? Would you look at him?
PJ Fleck, I feel like I would not.
Nobody likes him, man.
Only you, man.
I like him.
I think he's more of a kind of his personal brand guy, and I think that's great at a school like Minnesota that needs a shot of energy, needs something. But this is Michigan. We don't need gimmicks. We don't need a hype man or anything like that. We need a guy who can go out, recruit, and develop players and game plan. That's what we need. We don't need a mascot, so I would not want PJ Fleck.
Oh, a mascot.
Hey, Alex, it's Pete here. I just real quick, let me throw out a coaching name for you. How about going over older guy? But how about going over to Indiana and Kurt Cignetti? Do you think that Michigan could make a play for him because he's doing a fabulous job this year at Indiana?
Cignetti is doing a great job at Indiana, and you have to respect how he's won at every level. I just feel like when you're an upper blue blood program at Michigan, you're not looking for a stopgap coach who's there for 4 or 5 years and then might retire for age. You're looking for the next Bo Schembechler who can be here for 20-plus seasons, and someone who can be here a long time, recruit well, and just dominate and set up a dynasty. So while Cignetti's a great guy, and if he would have climbed the ranks faster and would be a head coach at a younger age, I'd love to go get him. I just don't think that's the best course of action for Michigan in the long run.
I thought Pete was going to tell you Scott Loeffler from Bowling Green.
No.
Thanks,
Our
Alex.
Wolverine insider, Alex Ziolkowski. We talk to him every Wednesday. Alex,
Good
thanks
job,
so
Alex.
much, buddy. We appreciate you.
Always good to talk to you, Alex.
See you guys next week.
You got to go blue. And again, that segment brought to you by our friends at Skinny Butcher. Braylon, get us out of here, my friend.
Yo, always good when the gang's all here, and that's what it was today. And you'll see us again tomorrow, man. So I hope you enjoyed the show, but we'll be coming with live and more news, more facts, more data, and more on what's going on with the Lions as it relates to the defensive line.
Hall of Fame day tomorrow.
Tomorrow is Hall of Fame, and we'll talk more about that. Tomorrow will be an interesting top 10 match.
All right.
I got a fun top 10.
I
Since
love
it's the
that.
Hall of Fame,
Yes.
I got some stuff in there for you. Maybe even have video, but we'll see tomorrow. From my man KG, Pete, Ryan, Tom Mazaway, we are Ermanni Networks with Maz, and we'll see you mañana.
See you guys.